Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. Show number 2, if you're keeping score just for today, not show number 2 in its entirety, show number, I think 235 or something like that. But for today, show number 2, good to have you with us. Those of you who are joining us once again, who were with us earlier when we had a wonderful friend, dear friend, actually, longtime dear friend, singer and songwriter, George Paris, live and direct from Athens, Greece. A wonderful, epic conversation we had. He really got into some really inspiring conversation. It was really great. If you missed that episode, it's on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Matter of fact, all of the episodes of our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series are available for you on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We try to make everything streamlined. The YouTube channel, the Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch. All of it is Jim Masters TV, so you can find me in all those suspect locations. But everybody watching right now on YouTube at Jim Masters TV, we welcome you. Everybody also watching concurrently on our Facebook page, because this episode we're doing on Facebook as well. We welcome you at Jim Masters TV, and we welcome you and you and you. We always do this toast to all of our viewers, or as they call themselves, the loveties who are watching. Levity because I was saying light, love, and levity back in the summertime. And what happened? I said it a little too fast, and love and levity combined into the word levity, and everybody fell in love with levity. And we actually spell it with the E in it. I know that's not grammatically correct, but hey, after this year we've all been through, we can put an E in the word love and levity as much as we want. And we actually had a contest, and I had the viewers decide, should we keep the E in levity because grammatically it's not really correct, or should we eliminate it? And everybody said, keep the E. I want the word love intact in the word levity. So that's what it's about. They call me Mr. Levity. They call themselves the Loveties, all the viewers, and they call this Levity Hall. So we toast all of you this evening. It's nice to have you here from wherever you're watching. We have an audience that is international, which is kind of cool. We have a big following in the United States and Canada, Mexico, Europe, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. You pick the spot, Switzerland and Italy and Japan and Iceland. It's amazing. And we welcome every single one of you, regardless of where you are. You're always welcome to join us here. This is an Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series we started late in the spring. It's an extension of the work I do in television and radio and multimedia as a TV and radio host, presenter, personality, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist. Wanted to do something like this for a while. People in the industry told me you should do something like this for the longest time. So we brought in the television equipment and built a home studio here. We're in the greater New York area in the northeastern United States between, and I say that because we have an international audience as well. And we are between New York and Boston on the southern New England coast. And how's everybody doing? We welcome all of you. We've got an amazing guest. John Proulx is with us this evening. He is positioned at his piano in Los Angeles, California. Grammy-winning composer and jazz pianist. He's extraordinary. We were just having an incredible conversation. If you want lots of music, not only are we going to have an inspiring conversation, lots of levity and levity, which we're known for famously on the Jim Masters Show Live, but lots of great live music. John is all positioned and very gracious to perform for us tonight. Again, he's a brilliant artist, and he's going to be here in just a second. And we were just doing a little bit of a sound check moments ago, and it sounded really, really good. So you're going to learn about him. I'm sure you know much of his music. He's worked with some of the greats, including Melissa Manchester, who was a wonderful guest of ours just a matter of weeks ago. And if you missed my epic conversation with the brilliant Melissa Manchester, the music legend, it's right there on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Let's check in with some of our lovely viewers. I welcome all of you to our show on a Saturday night. Show number 2 shows, double levity on the Jim Masters Show today for all of you. Nathan Carter is going to be with us tomorrow. Brilliant country music singer. I know you don't always think of that when you think of Ireland, right, or England. He's from England originally, but he's in Ireland tomorrow, and he's going to be with us live at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, and England. He's going to perform live. It's going to be terrific. I know you've been excited about Nathan Carter. He had a public television special a year ago or so, and I interviewed him on that, and we stayed friends. So he's on tomorrow. Good evening, Jim and fellow Lovely family from Karen Campbell Green in Nova Scotia, Canada. Good to see you for show number 2, Karen. Welcome back. Mary Bishop is here as well. Hello again, Jim and Lovely friends. Ready for more great conversation, absolutely, and lots of music. Willie is here, Willie Jancy from Holland, from the Netherlands. Welcome. Here we go again. Hello, my dear Jim and Lovedies. Enjoy the evening. Good to see you, Willie. I know you love music. Lots coming your way. And we have Poppy Louise tuning in from Chicago. Welcome. It's good to have you with us from Chicago, the Windy City, home to Deep Dish Pizza. That's one place I still need to get to, is Chicago. And all my travels and my work in television, radio, I still got to get to Chicago. Hopefully this year, fingers crossed. Gary, this is his second show today as well. And thanks, Gary, watching in Iowa, USA. Nice to see you. Kathy Short. George Paris and I sang happy birthday to Kathy earlier live on YouTube because her birthday was in December and we were off for the holidays. Hello again, Jim and Lovedies. Kathy Short in Cleveland. And DJ Hargan. Looking forward to hearing John. Welcome, DJ, on the YouTube channel. All of you watching on YouTube, boy, would we absolutely love it if you click subscribe to the channel. That helps the show, helps us bring more content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content, because we do shows daily. We are live 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific every single day with the Jim Master Show live. Piano keys from Willie. I love that. Bernadette is here. Hello again, Jim and fellow Lovedies. Back for the second of today's shows. You really are a loyal Lovedy. We love that. Ann Wozniak is here. A very good Saturday evening, Jim and everyone. Ann, I got your package and that beautiful card and the CD, the Byrne Brothers and the family. We're gonna reach out to them, see if they'll pop on as guests. That would be fantastic. They are fantastic. Thanks for that. I appreciate that, Ann. And Bernadette says, hi, Jim and Lovedies. Second show today. Awesome. We love that. And of course, we at the show say hello to everybody as well on YouTube and watching on Facebook. Willie says hello. Kathleen Walker in New York City. Hi, Jim. Hi, everyone. Hope you've had a good day. We still are. And I hope you are there in New York City. Gary says, good evening, Jim. Thanks, Gary. And Avril Britton watching in Hampshire, United Kingdom. Hi, Jim, and all the Lovedies on the show from a freezing United Kingdom. Well, my special guest, John Proulx, is going to warm you up with not only with the music and conversation, but it's about 90 degrees where he is in Southern California. So maybe he can send some warmth your way through his music. And hello to the lovely Lovedies, friend and family from Karen in Nova Scotia, Merlin in Ontario, Canada. Hi, Jim and all Lovedies. Good to see you for show number 2 as well. I love that. Keep the E in Lovedy. We sure will. Sherry is back for show number 2. Hello, Jim and all Lovedies. It's wonderful to be back with you in Lovedy Hall. We love having you here, Sherry, as well. It's always beautiful. And Mary is welcoming John. I love that. And all of you welcome each other. And I told John he's going to be welcomed as a Lovedy very soon. And look, he's already a Lovedy. You guys are really good about that. I told him about the whole Lovedy thing, and he loves that. All the guests love that. DJ, oh my, John and I, we should be doing the show there. Tuning in from Waikiki. Next time, DJ Horrigan, that's where we're going to do the show. I've done on-location segments with this show and on-location episodes with our show. We're going to Waikiki. I love it. Karen says, yes, I love waiting to see what our handsome Jim Masters will be wearing each day. Thank you very much. Jennifer Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hey, Jim, loving your soft midnight blue shirt and the Jim, the man in it. Jen and Ken is zen. Well, I'm glad you are zen. Cool stuff. Keep the comments coming. I know you guys are very passionate and enthusiastic. We love that. Yes, you're praying for warm weather there in England. Karen is welcoming John as well, and we're going to do that as well. So hope you guys are doing well. If you didn't see us earlier, you can see that earlier episode on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV with the incredible George Paris. I'm very excited to welcome. That's a cool shot, huh? Some of these are really great shots. We're going to go through a myriad of these on the show. But my special guest is Grammy-winning composer and jazz pianist, John Proulx. He is extraordinary at what he does. He's very, very talented. The jazz scene is all abuzz about singer, pianist, composer, and recording artist John Proulx. His piano playing is hot and swinging. His voice recalls the smooth, mellow sounds of a young Chet Baker. John's latest CD, Say It, came out in 2018 on the Artist Share label, and it's featuring so many incredible artists too, as well as a duet with Melissa Manchester, and also 3-string quartet arrangements too. His previous 3 albums on MAXJAZZ, The Best Thing for You, Baker's Dozen-Remembering Chet Baker, and Moon and Sand, have garnered national and international acclaim. He's a Grammy-winning composer. Jazz legend Nancy Wilson recorded These Golden Years, a song that John co-wrote as well. And also the Grammy-winning CD, Turn to Blue. Most recently, he's been working on so many other projects, and we're excited he's going to tell us about some of those as we come up during the course of the conversation. But he also co-wrote a song called Stained Glass with Melissa Manchester for his new album, Say It. John and Melissa also co-wrote a song called Big Light for her 20th studio album, You Gotta Love the Life, featuring a duet with Melissa and Al Jarreau. He's extraordinary at what he does. He's, again, a Grammy-winning talent. As much as he is the pianist and the composer, he's also a singer and a recording artist. And it's my pleasure to welcome him from warm and sunny LA. Good to have him with us, and good to have you with us as well. John, thanks so much for joining us here on the show, and we welcome you.
Thanks so much for having me, Jim. Hey, everybody. Hi, Larry.
Good to see you, and welcome. And Avril Britain is freezing in the United Kingdom, so maybe some of that 90-degree heat we can blow east to her.
That'd be great. Yeah, it was a beautiful day today, almost 90 degrees here. So, yeah.
Wow. I like that you're all set up at your piano. It's a nice setting you've got there. And have you been busy? I mean, I've been asking a lot of the guests on the show how they've been sort of coping with and dealing with the unusualness. I won't say unprecedented, because I think everybody has used that word a million times, but the unusualness of everything that we've all experienced the last many months now going into the new year. How have you been keeping busy, and how have you been staying creative and connected, my friend?
Yeah, great question. Everything sort of stopped last March. Of course, all the live performances went away. So what I've been doing a lot of lately is actually doing a lot more teaching online. The setup here has really been great for teaching online piano lessons and online vocal lessons. I've been doing a lot of that. I also work at a couple universities as an adjunct teacher. So I work at Cal Poly Pomona and Cal State Long Beach. So that's been keeping me busy, just being online teaching and creative, working with young students. And there's actually a great website called jazzvoice.com that I started working for, that gives workshops and lessons all over the world. A bunch of different jazz vocal instructors are on there. And so I've been working a lot doing workshops and lessons through them. So the teaching thing has been one thing, but then in addition to that, just doing a lot of writing. I've been getting into orchestration. That's something that's been a new thing for me, which has been a lot of fun. I've been working with a guy named Chris Anderson Butsoli, who's a film composer. And we've been doing sort of like a trade where I'll teach him some jazz and he'll teach me about orchestration. And we've been working together on that. So that's been a lot of fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So you have your hands in a lot of different things, my friend, and you really enjoy teaching, huh?
I do. Yeah. I love to kind of break down systematically how to approach things like improvisation and chord structure and things like that. So I think, when I was in school studying, I really appreciated those teachers that could really explain things the way I could understand it, not just play, Right. There's more to it than that, of course. So I wanted to be kind of like one of those teachers where I could also explain to my students what I was doing. And I really enjoy it.
How did you get started? I know you and I were chatting before we went live on air that you're there in LA County, but in Southern California. However, you have Midwestern roots, right? Michigan. Tell us about growing up in Michigan and how that may have inspired you to have a love for music. You and I were talking about how one of the first instruments that was ever put in our hands was a violin.
Right.
And what were some of the inspirations for you growing up in Michigan? Is there a family of performers in your family, or were you the breakout?
Yeah, no, I came from a very musical family. My both parents were guitarists. They were folk singers and guitarists. And so I grew up listening to a lot of, Peter, Paul, and Mary and Gordon Lightfoot and Carole King and Melissa Manchester. Um, and then my grandfather was a jazz guitarist. So I grew up listening to a lot of jazz, like Nat King Cole. And, so learning a lot of standards, even as a young child growing up listening to the family get together and jam. So it was in the family, and my brother plays piano and sings, and my sister used to play flute. And anyway, so it's a very musical family. All the uncles and aunts play instruments. And so growing up in Michigan was in that family in particular was, I think, something very special and something that I maybe took a little bit for granted. I just figured everyone's family was like that, In fact, I remember going around on Friday nights sometimes, and we get in the car and just drive around and harmonize 4-part harmony and not even think anything of it, And so, so I definitely grew up in a very musical family. I started violin when I was 3 years old, Suzuki violin, where you just listen to recordings. And so I remember being, have this little, in fact, before I even got the violin, they give you a ruler with a box, and the box is wrapped in, wrapping paper. And at the end of the training session, you got to open up the box, and it was Cracker Jacks. Do you remember that? So the Cracker Jacks box. And then I finally got a real violin, but I remember it being, about this big and playing this little violin. But at 5 years old, I quit playing violin, and I was more drawn to the piano because I loved how you could be like an orchestra at the piano.
Did you have a real piano, or did you start with one of those little? We had the violin was real because that was in school, but we started with the little toy piano, and then worked up to one of those like organs, not like a pipe organ like in a church or something. One of those organs too, which was big at that point, having those organs. Did you have a toy piano before graduating to the real deal?
No, we had a real piano.
You had the real deal.
One of those gigantic upright pianos, those upright grands that weighed,
I love those.
Gazillion pounds. And I remember them, moving it into our house when I was a kid and just being so heavy. But so we played that thing to death, and it had an amazing sound. But I remember because so many of us played it, and we're kids, of course, there'd be like a fork in there somewhere and a piece of gum under here, so it was definitely worn.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad played a little piano. We had an exchange student named Paulo from Brazil as a kid. I remember he played piano, so I wanted to kind of be like him too. So, a lot of influences growing up. But I'd say in terms of jazz, my grandfather really was the person who got me into that. And then he used to take me to hear a local piano player singer in Grand Rapids named John Shea. And I think I was maybe 12 or 13. And it was like at the local Holiday Inn, and he was there with this trio playing and singing. And I had just started kind of getting into jazz a little bit when I was taking lessons. And I remember writing some kind of blues that was, like something like that kind of thing, the boogie woogie type of blues. And on his break, he asked if I would come up and play. And, that was my first time ever playing in public in front of people. And I remember after I finished and people started clapping, and he came up to me and he said, "You better be careful, kid. You're going to steal my gig," jokingly, of course. But that was the first time that I really thought, wow, I could see myself doing this as an adult. And so he was a big influence. Also, at the same time, do you remember that Harry Connick Jr. album that came out, the When Harry Met Sally soundtrack?
Yeah.
All those great standards, Our Love Is Here to Stay. And so I remember when I saw Harry and heard him sing and play, I said, wow, that's, I definitely want to be like that too. So
absolutely
influence. And then of course he sort of put me down the road of discovering other singers. Who is Harry Connick Jr. listening to? Oh, he was influenced by Sinatra, et cetera. And so I kind of went down that rabbit hole of learning about the different vocalists. And then I remember my first cassette that I have of a jazz piano player was Oscar Peterson. Of course, amazing jazz piano player. And it was a tribute to the Gershwins. And I still remember the cassette. I used to wear it out, So that was my first exposure to, a real jazz piano player. And I just, that swing feel was just such an infectious spirit that I knew I wanted to play like that. So he was my first big influence on piano. And And then after that, I started again, kind of going down the rabbit hole of piano players and listening to Red Garland and Wynton Kelly and all these wonderful piano players, and kind of went from there. And then started to, decide I wanted to go into this as a career. And so when I got to college and decided I wanted to major in music, I got my undergrad in jazz piano, and then actually just got my master's too in jazz vocal performance from Western Michigan University. So just kind of been continuing on that music path my whole life. And but LA has been a great place to be, to really have those opportunities.
When did you move to LA, and was LA the first choice, or had you thought of, because I know you went from Michigan to Chicago, right?
Yeah,
and then, because now they talk about Nashville also being a big music area. What drew you to LA versus Nashville or New York or some of the other areas? Opportunities?
Yeah, opportunities. Yeah, weather was a big part of it.
Weather.
I was in Chicago and dealt with those winters in Michigan. But no, Chicago was a great place. I really loved being there. I went to Roosevelt University. I know someone was chatting from Chicago earlier. Hey, Chicago people. Yeah. I love the city. It was really great. And I got a lot of exposure playing there. I remember going to a jam session on Sunday nights. Kurt Elling, who I'm sure you know that name, the wonderful jazz singer.
Absolutely.
Used to have a jam session at a place called The Note there. And so I used to go there, and his rhythm section would be there. And so it was a really great city for, up and coming jazz performers. So when I was looking at places to go, I could have went to New York, but I came out to LA and I just loved the vibe. I remember sitting down in I think it was Jerry's Deli, the famous Jerry's Deli, and listening around me. It was like, some actor over here was talking about a project, and some producers over here, and musicians talking here. I just love that creative atmosphere.
Yeah.
Wow, this is really exciting. I would just love to be here. So 2001, I moved to LA, and I thought, well, I'll give it a couple years, and then here I am, still here. So it's definitely stuck with me. But I do love New York, and actually had a chance to go there on this pretty cool opportunity. When I was here in LA, there's a bass player I work with named Chuck Berghofer, a wonderful bass player. He's in his 80s, believe it or not, but a wonderful player. And he was playing with Michael Feinstein at Catalina's Jazz Club here in LA, and said, do you have a CD? I'd like to give him a CD. Maybe he'd be interested in recording one of your songs or something like that. And I said, yeah, I didn't think anything of it. And the next day I was in one of those U-Haul trucks, coming back from Toys R Us or something for my kid,
Yeah.
And I get some call, and it's Michael's partner, Terrence, who's like, hey, this is Terrence, Michael's partner. He heard your CD, and how come he's never heard about you? Can you come to the club tomorrow? We'd love to meet you and talk to you. And I was like, wow, no way. So I went to the club the next night, and Michael was doing a tribute to Alan and Marilyn Bergman. Tierney Sutton was singing there as well. And I met him after the show, and he said, I love what you're doing, and if there's anything I can do to help your career, let me know, which is huge for Michael Feinstein. So I said, well, I've never really performed in New York. I'd love to do that sometime. And he said, well, funny thing, I have this club there called Feinstein's at the Regency. Maybe you could come there and play sometime. And I said, that'd be great. So in 2009, he invited me to come open for him there for 2 weeks. A show he was doing with Cheyenne Jackson, actually. And I did that. It was great. It was a lot of fun. And after those 2 weeks, the manager, John Iacchetti, was saying, we're trying to get people to stay after the main shows. Would you be interested in doing kind of a Bobby Short type of a solo piano vocal gig here, like on a regular basis, maybe like 5 days a week, living in the hotel? Does that sound appealing to you? And, again, just an amazing opportunity. And of course I took it. But I was living here at the time, and I have a family and everything. So I would go to New York and work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. And then I would fly back here on the weekends, and then go back to New York. So it was almost like a day job I had in New York as a piano player, singer, and living in the hotel there. It was just a great experience. So I love New York. It was if you're going to go there, that's the way to do it, right? Live in a nice hotel, have a good
Absolutely.
day, it was pretty sweet.
That's fantastic. So then from there, take us from there. What happened? What were some of those opportunities and the doors that opened for you once you got that exposure and started making connections there, John?
Yeah, well, the nice thing with there, of course, for being there is that there's, like LA, it's very creative and there's people around all the time and you never know who's in the audience and all that kind of thing. And I remember just after each show, I would get to go backstage and meet all the people that were performing that night. So Mike would introduce me to all these wonderful singers and musicians. And so that really opened up the doors just in terms of the networking aspect of music, which is also very important, right? And just the exposure, meeting different piano players and singers and also just being able to watch Michael perform because he's such an amazing performer. And so just kind of from a study point of view, just to sit there and watch him do his thing every night, I learned so much from him. And then after that gig ended, in fact, my last gig, it was New Year's Eve, 2009. And Liza Minnelli was singing that night with Michael. And I just remember she said, I need a cigarette. Come on with me. She took my arm and took me outside. I'm like, what is this?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it was like my last remembrance of New York City that night was hanging out with Liza outside when she was smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. But, like, wait a minute. 1 minute I'm in the Midwest and now I'm hanging out with Liza. Is this a dream sequence?
Yeah, it felt that way for sure. And then one other time I was able to go to New York. This is before 2009, but I was able to work with Marian McPartland. I don't know if you know that name. She had that great show on NPR for someone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And when my first album came out in 2006, because she knew Alec Wilder very well, the composer, my first album was called Moon and Sam, which is an Alec Wilder song. And so when my record label MAXJAZZ sent her that album, she called and said, I'd love to have you on the show. And again, growing up in the Midwest, I would listen to that show every weekend. I loved her playing. I loved all the guests that she had on her show. So to be invited on that program was a real honor for me. And so I remember flying to New York, going to this amazing studio with 2 Steinway pianos next to each other. And she was 88 years old when I did the show, which is amazing that she was, still able to play as great as she did. And I just remember the producer saying, now don't ask him about comparisons to Chet Baker. Just let's save that for the show. And so the first thing she says to me is, you sound a lot like Chet Baker, and they're like, oh, come on, save it for the show, Mary. And I remember when we started started the show, it was very casual and everything. And she just said, well, I haven't had my lunch yet, so I'm going to have some pea soup. Why don't you go ahead and play a little bit and I'll have my pea soup. So she's in there eating her soup and I started playing it. It was so casual. It was really fun. And then I remember doing a song of hers called In the Days of Our Love that she wrote. And I just sang it and she played it. And after we finished, she was like, ooh, that was lovely, And after the session, and this is something that if I write a memoir one day, I'll put this line in there. She says, and as like the elevator door is closing, she's like, well, if you sing that good, you must be pretty good in the sack. Marian McPartland said that.
And John said,
yes. Later, Marian. Thanks for having me on the show.
Your face turned red then, and it's turning red now.
yes, it is. But yeah, so that was
put amazing. That in the memoir, and that memoir will be a bestseller.
Yes, indeed. But
that is funny. That is funny. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, and then things just started really rolling for you, would you say?
Yeah. I think just being in LA, meeting all these different, especially singers. I just have, because I'm a piano player singer, I just tend to work with other singers as well. So just meeting, getting to work with Natalie Cole, for example, was a
boy. Miss what a voice. Natalie, Luther Vandross, Whitney Houston, these extraordinary voices, Marvin Gaye, all gone way too soon. But Natalie, every time I hear, Miss You Like Crazy, it's just amazing, really. That must have been quite an honor and a pleasure to work with Natalie Cole, huh?
It really was, yeah. Her regular piano player, Josh Nelson, was the one who got me the audition because they were looking for, like a sub piano player.
Wow.
And I remember doing the audition and then getting called to work with her, and probably worked with her for about maybe 6 or 7 years. But I remember you mentioned the song "Miss You Like Crazy." I remember being on a tour to Asia with her, and because over there, especially like in the Philippines and Indonesia, they loved her pop songs in particular. And as soon as she started playing the intro from that, da, 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 it was like that. I mean, the place went crazy. It was this huge stadium, and she was a real rock star, even though she was also singing standards. It was that real crossover thing she was able to do.
Yeah, yeah. I have to tell you, you do great voices, impersonations, and sound effects.
Oh, good. Well, you mentioned you like to do voiceovers, and eventually that's something I would like to do.
You're going to be adding that in. Yeah,
I
you
did
do.
a voiceover class in Chicago, and I was like, oh, I can see myself doing this too.
Yeah, you got it right. So so what was the project that you got a chance to work with her on, Natalie?
Well, it wasn't a project. It was just playing with her, as her piano player on the road for a while. So that was just being there and playing these amazing arrangements, by Alan Broadbent and Nan Schwartz. Just so many great songs. First of all, I mean, I grew up listening to all those songs that her dad sang, Straighten Up and Fly Right and Paper Moon, and of course Unforgettable, that with the screen with her dad and everything.
And she did the duet.
Yeah. So I mean, it was one of those pinch me moments where I'm just sitting there playing and thinking, really coming full circle, and that was one of my first artists I ever really listened to. My late grandfather actually passed away, so the fact, like, if he could have seen me playing with Natalie, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
He was really the cause of that. So
Yeah.
and then from Natalie to working with Melissa, that's been just awesome too.
Melissa Manchester, another, you grew up listening to her, and now all of a sudden you're working with her. I mean, that must have been and continues to be something extraordinary, huh?
Yeah. I mean, she's just one of those artists that's an all around, as artist who, so talented, plays, sings, writes, does it all.
She does it all. Yeah.
Yeah, she really does. And is a real collaborator too. I mean, it's been an honor to be able to write some songs with her. And, you mentioned the song Big Light that we wrote together that she ended up recording with Al Jarreau. And that was, again, one of those pinch me moments, to be in the studio, seeing them record the song that we wrote together. And just, you never know when you go somewhere what's going to happen, or who's going to be listening, or who you're going to meet, and what that's going to lead to. And that's been a real treat for me to be, especially in LA, just because a lot of the people that I've met tend to be here. But yeah, Melissa's been a real friend over the years and collaborator, and I miss playing with her. It's been tough in quarantine, not being on the road with her.
Nobody can get together. I know it's tough. It's been rough, but hopefully, again, fingers crossed, that we'll all be doing our things again soon, or you guys especially needing the stage and then the studios and all. Did you want to tickle the ivories a little bit and share something, maybe even from that, with our audience?
I'd like to do that. Before I do that, I want to mention, and I don't know if she mentioned this on her when she was talking to you, but she wrote a song called Awake, and during quarantine, I sang on that track, and that was pretty cool too, because Susan basically sent the track, and then we all recorded our parts and then virtually came together. And what a powerful song that was, is.
We showed the video actually during the conversation with Melissa, and unbelievable. That was really,
powerful song.
Absolutely. And for, powerful purpose as well. Really, really cool.
Well, yeah, I'd love to play something. Maybe I'll do Stained Glass, the song that we wrote together on my latest album. And the album's called Say It. And Melissa and I wrote this song together. I was thinking of a not necessarily autobiographical, but sort of hinting to my upbringing. My parents were both musicians, as I mentioned, but my parents divorced when I was around 10. And so I just wanted to write a song that kind of talked about that time in my life. And Melissa had this beautiful image of stained glass, and that life is like stained glass, where there's all these jagged edges, and which is kind of like everyone's life, right? And the things that we go through, but when they all come together and you stand back and look at it, like how beautiful the stained glass is. And so, she's such a deep thinker in her lyrics. And so it was a real pleasure to write this song with her. So yeah, let me sing it for you guys if that's all right.
Fantastic, fantastic. Here's John Proulx on the Jim Masters Show live.
Cool. Colors clear as on a butterfly's wing, much too delicate to hold. Oh, I remember what was then, what's now. Now I see what needed to unfold. Sun-kissed golden ribbons fell across the room. Summer when you said goodbye, left only shattered pieces of my heart, till my haunted heart would learn to fly. And if life is full of broken pieces, jagged edges, crooked lines, are we brave enough to save what's left of us? I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind. Maybe love becomes like stained glass. Look how time has warmed its colors, new light shining through. Once you said I still love you. And if life is full of broken pieces, jagged edges, crooked lines, are we brave enough to save what's left of us? I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind. Maybe love becomes like stained glass. Look how time has warmed its colors, new light shining through. Once you said I still love you. I still love you. I still love you. I still love you.
Absolutely beautiful. That's a great song, John.
I appreciate that.
Wow. Where can people find that? Is it on the CDs? It's available, or Spotify, the usual?
The usual places, yeah, iTunes, Amazon. It's called Say It is the name of the album. And that song's called Stained Glass. And as you mentioned earlier, the song, or not the song, but the album has 3 songs on it that have string quartet arrangements, which is
there it is.
The string quartet arrangements were done by Alan Broadbent, who is an amazing piano player, arranger, was Diana Krall's music director for a long time, and just a really amazing musician. And he did these beautiful string arrangements, and it's a real treat to sing behind strings. It feels like you're just floating, and I just love that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So it's a special album, and I'm proud of it. It's my last one. I'll probably have some more, but nothing in the works right now. But hopefully soon I'll put out another one.
Was this during that time with Melissa as well? This shot?
Yeah, that's from our recording session, actually.
You and Melissa Manchester.
Yeah.
Look at those happy grins. Was this before or after you got everything done?
This is after.
Because you have, I was going to say, you guys have that expression of, we did it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Because, there's a lot of concentration in the studio. You're trying to get things, the best you can and go back and do several takes and everything. But yeah, it was a real pleasure working with her in the studio. And that's the afterglow.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's the album, Say It. And again, it's the latest. What was the inspiration for the album in its entirety, would you say? And Say It, tell us about that.
Yeah, well, the song Say It is a song by Frank Lesser and Jimmy McHugh, but it's the sentiment of Say It. I just felt like, I've had 3 albums in the past and they've all been good, but this one I felt like I really wanted to say something. I wanted to have it be a little different, to be a little bit more heartfelt, a little bit more deeper in terms of the lyrics and everything. So I feel like the Say It kind of encompasses that, and I just, with the strings and with the songs that I chose, I felt like it really kind of showed a different side of the artistry that maybe I haven't shown in the past, a little bit more personal side of me.
Which is nice. And that's, it's funny how you say maybe hadn't shown in the past. I think sometimes, regardless of what it is we do for our careers or in our lives, sometimes that's what happens. We do certain things, and then as we get more comfortable and as things start rolling, we start then opening up more about our lives, and that's expressed in our work, no matter what it is we do, whether it's performance, any other type of work, especially when it comes to performance and being out there in the public eye, like you are, like I am, like Melissa is, like so many people are. Once you're in a certain place, then it starts to really, truly, not that the earlier stuff doesn't reflect who you are, but it starts to really become super authentic, really organic, and really reflect the essence of who that person is. And you've come to that point, which is a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I also feel like having kids makes you, I think, appreciate things a little bit differently, right? Prioritize what's really important in life. And to me, that's been my family, my friends, the simple things like cooking and, things I love to do that are very creative.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having the time to be with my kids and how important that is, to be there for them. In the end, that's
beautiful shot we have here.
Thanks. Yeah, that's my wife, Anna. And she is not a musician, but she used to play violin. And
she did, yeah.
She now works for AFI, the Film Institute.
And, that's cool.
She's been our rock of our family, so that I can be the creative one.
Yes, exactly. Well, I know that you're a rock star in the household, and we have proof of it. You've even been, caricatured in one way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's actually not me. That's of a guy that I know from Facebook named Joe.
Wow! It almost looks like you in a way.
It does in a way, but my daughter did that. It's interesting. She put.
She's very talented.
She is. She did some drawings, and this actor friend of mine, Jay Jackson, contacted me and said, "Oh, I love that drawing she did. Does she do any celebrity drawings?" And I said, "I don't know. Let me ask her." So I asked her.
Not yet.
He did one of Jay, and then anyway, it started going from there. And she had this backlog of people she was, doing pictures for like $10 a pop or something like that.
Nice.
She's in middle school, but
she's a businesswoman already. She's got
Yeah, she is.
she's got to study marketing and economics and
Yeah, and she's really has the music bug too. She plays guitar and sings and plays mandolin and viola and so she's definitely has the music bug and is actually looking at art schools right now for high school.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I might go into that as a career. So
you mentioned also inspiring young minds as part of it. And for folks just tuning in, I'm Jim Masters, John Proulx, Grammy-winning composer, as well as jazz pianist and singers with us, and got a great night of music and inspiring conversation and levity that we're in the throes of right now. You love to inspire young minds as well and sort of pay it forward. I think this is Fullerton. Tell us about what's happening here.
Yeah, so that it was a group that I was working with at Cal State Fullerton. I'm trying to see what year that was. It may have been around 2011, but I was director of a vocal group there, a vocal jazz group. And Bill Cunliffe, a wonderful piano player, was the director of jazz there and invited me to come work with the groups. And that singer kind of that I have my arm around, Jeanne Kendrick, she was our guest artist, and she's another fabulous singer that I actually went to school with in Chicago, and now she's really doing well here on the West Coast. But yeah, so that's been really fun to work with young people, to try to expose them to this great music. You know, I love that, and they seem to I don't know, enjoy working with me too, which is a good thing.
Well, you have a calming way about you, sort of a consistent, calming. I've heard the same with my personality, and I think sometimes it can work to your advantage because oftentimes in these kinds of industries, a lot of other people are running around, and there's a lot of chaos and a lot of energy happening, and then you sort of come in sort of calm and tempered. It sort of lowers the temperature a little bit in the room, which I think and dealing with students, and it's a real plus.
Yeah, I think they feel comfortable to open up to me and to to learn from me. So yeah.
Then there's also a good jam session with friends. Tell us about this shot we dug up. We did a little research.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Where was that? Oh, that's Beverly Hogan. Okay, yeah. So this was, there's the singer, you only see the back of her right now. Her name's Beverly Church Hogan, and that's at her house. We were rehearsing for she would do a one gig a year at Catalina Jazz Club. And I've been working with her. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get together during quarantine, but I've been the producer of all of her albums lately, and also doing all of her arrangements and getting the band together. So Lyman Medeiros and Clayton Cameron and Grant Geisman on guitar, and we were getting ready for rehearsing for one of her gigs. So yeah, I miss playing with people. That
yeah,
that's fantastic. Thanks for digging that up.
It's nice online, but not the same when you're in a setting like that, and it's a little bit different. We've got another one here too.
Oh my goodness, where was that? I don't even know where that was.
Now, is that a band of regulars that you work with generally?
No. In fact, I'm trying to think of that. That may have been at a jazz festival
where
we were put together with some different people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Here's somebody that we recognize as well, who was a guest on our show, and it's a dear friend, Anne Hampton Calloway.
Yes, Anne. Yeah, so we in fact, the first time I met her was at Feinstein's
in New York. Yeah,
New York, and then she contacted me to do some arrangements with her. So I did some co-arranging with her, and yeah, she's fantastic. I love Anne.
I think everybody does. Very, very talented. I just want to show you a couple of comments that came in when you were playing, and we'll definitely have you tickle the ivories some more. But lots of levity on this show, and they've already dubbed you a levity. So you're in the thick of it. You're a levity already, my friend. Christine Clifton, who's in North Carolina, says, John, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. We're thrilled to have you join us tonight. You are a levity.
Thanks, Christine.
I tell you, like I tell everybody, there's Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, Peabodys, Tonys, Tellys. but when you get a lovely on the Jim Masters Show live, your feet tingle. Willie in Holland, piano keys, claps, 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 and she says, "What a nice voice." She's watching. It's like it's almost 2 a.m.
Really?
in the Netherlands, and she stays up late to watch us.
Oh, fantastic.
We are the last thing she sees before she goes to bed. Merlin in Ontario, Canada, claps, piano keys, and stars, loving it. Mary Bishop in Florida says, "Very nice, John," with all the emojis. And Wozniak says, "Beautiful," with hearts and claps. They really enjoyed it. Gary Troyer says, "The song has a smooth jazz feel to it." He's watching from Iowa. Kathleen in New York City, very nice. Kathy Short in Cleveland, Ohio, beautiful song. Christine Clifton, beautiful song. Such a warm voice, and yes, so very smooth. Karen Campbell Green in Nova Scotia, Canada. Wow, such a touching, beautiful song. Merlin says, "Smiles all around." Really nice. Allentown, Pennsylvania, Jen is Zen. She's loving it, loving it. And Linda Odell in St. Augustine, Florida says, "I love your piano playing, John. Did you know you would always play jazz when you learned how to play the piano, or did you want to do classical or other genres?"
Yeah, I studied classical first from a teacher that was actually a neighbor just right across the street. And it was interesting when I started doing piano lessons from her, because one of my other passions is tennis, and I was taking tennis lessons after school and things like that. So I couldn't do my lessons after school. So I ended up doing my piano lessons in the morning before school. So around 7 o'clock in the morning, I'd walk over to her house and do a lesson.
Did you say tennis?
Yeah. Yeah. there it is. Oh, yeah, you got him.
I tell you.
That's my Aquinas College, sir. I went to Aquinas College for 2 years in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I was on the tennis team there. I had a tennis scholarship, actually.
Did you really? So tennis really was going to be, so you must have had a pursuit, a passion for you.
Yeah, I did. And I still do. I still play every week with a friend of mine, Kenny Wild. And, but yeah, and in fact, I did some tennis teaching too. I got certified as a tennis teacher back a while ago. I haven't taught in a while, but yeah, tennis teaching.
Who's some of your favorites? Federer, or Nadal, or Zverev, some of the others?
They're all great, but Federer is my favorite.
Federer, yeah. I had an opportunity to chat with Andy Roddick once. Terrific, yeah. He was a lot of fun. He's got a quick, sort of dry, sarcastic wit. Yeah. Really, really funny. But I might be chatting with Patrick McEnroe, I think, soon, which would be great. And his wife, who's a singer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that as well. So now when you were, loving tennis, playing tennis, doing it, was it sort of like, okay, tennis music? What was that like for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in college, because I had the tennis scholarship, that's where I decided that I would kind of focus a little bit more on tennis when I first went to college, but I was still playing music and all that. But when I decided to move to Chicago, it was a little bit more like, okay, now I want to focus more on music. And so the school that I went to didn't have a tennis team, so it's a music school solely. So I kind of started focusing more on that. But when I was in Chicago, I ended up teaching at this place called the Saddle and Cycle Club, which is a country club. So I'd be up there teaching and then I'd teach in the afternoons, then go play gigs at night. And then, so it was, I was getting both of them in, burning the candle at both ends, but I was getting into my passions and I still do it. I mean, still play it.
Any of the kids like tennis?
Yeah. My son, in fact, is really into it. My daughter plays a little, but my son is really into it. In fact, he we watch a lot of tennis, and so he gets that Australian accent. He's like, "Oh yeah, Federer, yeah, all the time." Yeah. Well, he does the whole announcer voice and everything. It's hilarious. But that's cool. I take him out a lot, and then we just got a ping pong table recently too, so we've been doing a lot of that. So
you sound like one of my best friends, who's a certified tennis professional, teacher, and instructor, but his family grew up with tennis. His grandparents have a grass court actually in their backyard.
I never played that grass.
Yeah, and he's actually taught me quite a bit as we've gone along. I've always had an interest in it, but he's so good. He's taught me a lot. But also actually he says, well, actually, Jim, real players, we say Table tennis.
Yeah.
But isn't it ping pong? Well, it is when you're playing on Thanksgiving downstairs at your cousin Kathy's house,
Right.
but when you're competing, it's table tennis.
Yeah.
I tell you, I've been to several of those tournaments. Holy cow, they take it seriously.
And they hit so much harder than you think. Yeah, when you're watching on TV, it doesn't seem
not at all
fast. When you see it live, it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
So you're pretty proficient at that, would you say?
Yeah, I'm about a 4 or 5 level for all those tennis people out there.
So 4 or 5 tennis, yeah.
There's one story maybe I'll share. When I was younger, that I was playing football too. Just probably shouldn't have done that as a kid, but I was pretty small. But I was running back, and I remember tackling this guy, and he fell on me, and the pack of people that tackled him fell on me, and I ended up getting like a compound fracture in my left arm. I think I was in 7th grade, and I had to wear a cast, but I still was tennis was really my passion. So I remember playing with the cast tennis. So I'd have to serve, it was my left hand, so I'd throw up the ball with the cast on, and I was a 2-hand backhand before then, but I ended up having to switch to 1 hand because this was in the cast. And so I remember playing a tournament with the cast on, and there's this kid that I would always see in the tournaments, and he saw the cast, and he's like, oh, I got this guy now,
Yeah.
And got to the finals, ended up beating him with the cast. And so he was so, at the end, he's just so humiliated. He's like,
he wasn't liking that.
And then, you get the trophy when they always show the serving, and so I put a little piece of tape around the serving arm to show that it was the broken arm.
That is funny. You were determined. That is cool. Yeah. Jack Gallagher is watching. Welcome, Jack. Jack says, as far as the arrangement, I thought the arrangement was a bit reminiscent of something Ivan Lins might have done. Maybe I'm off the mark, but it had a bit of a Brazilian feel to me, which you had mentioned, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's great. Ivan Lins has written some amazing songs. I love his work. And maybe I'll play another song since you mentioned.
Yeah, that would
Brazilian. There's a song that I wrote with another great lyricist friend of mine named Chan Berry, and the song's called "Before We Say Goodnight," and it's off of my 3rd album, "The Best Thing for You," and it's a Brazilian kind of song. So here it goes. This is picture you're walking down a beach in São Paulo. So
we have viewers in South America and Brazil.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well maybe this will be good for them. This is "Before We Say Goodnight."
Before we say goodnight, can I look into your eyes and tell you that the trust we share will never ever die? It all seems like make-believe, it's our holy paradise, full of music, charm, and romance under Rio skies. Before we say goodnight, can we walk a little ways? The moonlight and the stars above, we dance the night away. There's love in the breeze, and it's blowing it our way. The night time is the right time in Brazil. Before we say goodnight, can we walk a little ways? The moonlight and the stars above, we dance the night away. There's love in the breeze, and it's blowing it our way. The night time is the right time. The night time is the right time. The night time is the right time in Brazil. The night time is the right time. The night time is the right time. The right time is the night time in Brazil.
Really nice.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. And here's some of the levity coming your way. Merlin in Canada, nice job, loves it, smiles and clapping. Kathleen Walker in New York, really nice, very catchy.
Yeah.
Willie in the Netherlands, claps and piano keys and microphones and headphone emojis. Renee Katz, who's a wonderful cabaret performer. She says very danceable. Great song from Allison Tillman, Linda Odell in Florida. Catchy toe tapping song. I love it.
Thank you.
Great song. And Ann Wozniak is saying, love this with hearts coming your way. Kathleen Walker in New York. Really nice, very catchy. Christine Clifton in North Carolina. Brazilian jazz is my favorite style of music. Loving this song of yours. Definitely a catchy tune as well. Now, you said that's available on which album?
The Best Thing for You, and it's on iTunes or Amazon. And it's the nice thing with that too. I mean, you just heard the stripped down version of it, but in the recording, there's trio. There's a flute playing a line. There's also a singer named Sarah Gazarek who's singing some background vocals with me. So it's a pretty cool sounding track.
Oh boy. Does jazz speak to your heart first, would you say? Is that your first, is that what's in your system first, or how would you phrase that?
I think for me, it's, if a song is good, it doesn't matter what the style is. I just love great melodies and harmony. Maybe I'll do a song for you that combines two of my favorite styles. So I mentioned that I grew up listening to a lot of folk music. My parents were folk singers, but then this kind of jazz influence. And so there is a song that was written by Joe Raposo that you probably know from the Carpenters, the sing.
Oh yeah, sing a song. Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to do that, but give it kind of a jazz treatment. And this is a song that's also on the third album, The Best Thing for You. And so maybe I'll do a little bit of that for you right now. This is Sing Reimagined.
Cool. I love it. Here's John Proulx.
Sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong, sing of good things, not bad, sing of happy, not sad. Sing a song, make it simple to last your whole life long. Don't worry that it's not good enough for anybody else to hear. Just sing a song. La la do da, la la do da 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 do da. da do da da do da 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 do da. La do da da do da 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 do da. Sing a song, let the world sing along. Sing of love there could be. Sing for you and for me. Oh, sing a song. Make it simple to last your whole life long. Don't worry that it's not good enough for anybody else to hear. Just sing. Oh, sing. Just sing. Sing a song. La do da da do da 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 do da. La do da da do da 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 do da. La do da da do da 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 do da. Why don't you sing a song? Why don't you sing a song? Sing a song. Sing a song. Sing a song.
I love that version. That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really, yeah, I love that blend. That is really, really cool. And I love the ending. I love the way you ended that. That's really cool. And what album did you say that was on, that one?
The Best Thing for You.
The Best Thing for You. Okay. I just want to show some more covers too of albums. There's Moon and Sand, of course. And there's The Best Thing for You. A couple of people have been asking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Baker's Dozen.
Yeah, that's Chet Baker, another influence. Vocally and, trumpet player, of course. But yeah, people have compared my voice to his. And so I wanted to do an album dedicated to his music.
And of course, this is the more recent as well. Some of these great comments that are coming in are really, really nice. Christine Clifton says, who doesn't love this song?
Mm-hmm.
Good one. Enjoyed your arrangement so much. Claps from Sherry. Just amazing. Sweet and cool. Nice solos between lyrics. Love the ending. I know something about the twist of the ending, which is, yeah.
Kind of wanted to sort of end like a, almost like a lullaby, a song that I sing to my son, and he actually falls asleep to my music every night, which is also kind of sweet, listening to that song. So I want to have that feeling.
It's perfect. And I still hear it in my head. I still hear the whole song, but especially the ending, it's still looping, which is actually a good thing. That's a positive. I mean, want to show you some of these cool things. Ann Wozniak says, love this song. Allison asks, how long have you been singing? Because some may know you more for composition and pianist, the singing part. When did that really come in?
Well, officially, probably not till grade school when I was singing in choirs. But like I mentioned, my family, because of the music influence, we just would always be singing. So I just remember, harmonizing, but not really having any training necessarily early on until I got to grade school, singing in choirs and things like that, and then in high school and college. But yeah, my mom said I was singing before I was speaking. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think, the voice is really the most common instrument, right? We all start with our voice. So I feel like most of us have sung before we played an instrument. And I really feel like they're really connected to the voice and piano. In fact, sometimes when I improvise, I will play and sing at the same time, this kind of thing. so it's like really kind of connecting the voice to the instrument.
Do that again. That was cool.
Just doing a little improvising.
Quite amazing how both know what they're going to do at the same time simultaneously.
Yeah.
That's a real skill, because sometimes that's not always, you got to think it out just a little bit and then attempt it. Wow, that's cool. Do you like improvisation a lot, or do you like things more beginning, middle, end? I know there's people who like music that has a beginning, maybe a crescendo, and then an end, or a big end, or a soft end. Or do you love the improvisation, or both?
I think both. Yeah. I mean, I love arranging, there's definitely a structure to arranging, and a beginning, middle, end, and sometimes something that's even, a reharmonization, that kind of a thing. But then there's other times where, you had a gig or something and you just are playing tunes, and that's all improvisation, because there is no beginning, middle, and you're just starting. And, there's kind of a common language of jazz musicians of, if there's no intro, there's going to be someone's going to do some kind of an intro, right? And usually the ending, it could go anywhere, but that's all improvisational in terms of you're working together and as a band trying to figure out how to start and end the song. So I enjoy both. I mean, I like the spontaneity of just playing with other musicians and not knowing what you're going to play and just making it really in the moment. But then I also love to present arrangements where there's been thought given to make it sound new and fresh.
And that's what's great when you have an opportunity to do that, because when it's new and fresh, then obviously it's something that people can gravitate to, that maybe has a twist on it that they didn't. Do you prefer original music yourself? Is that something that's a preference for you, John?
I kind of like both. I mean, I love standards, but I also love to write. So when I'm doing gigs, like I'll usually do some standards and then I'll throw in some originals. People do enjoy originals, but I think they also like to hear, the songs from the Great American Songbook and songs that they know. So I do like to do both, but I generally put in like a few original songs mixed in there per set when I'm doing live gigs.
What are some of the things that inspire you along the way to create all this great music and collaborate with people so brilliantly and beautifully like you do, John?
Well, for me, it's different things. I'm not a lyricist. I wish I was, but I just love beautiful melodies, and so I'll compose something, a beautiful melody or a chord progression. Let's say it's something like, something that I just love the harmony of that. And then from that, there could be a lyric that could be put over that, and so I work with different lyricists, and they'll hear songs that I'll write and send to them, and they'll say, oh, I could hear something over this, and they'll send me something, and then it becomes a collaboration. And I really like that process of working with people who do that really well. And then I try to make the melodies as singable as possible. And I just really love beautiful songs. And that's what inspires me, is listening to other people too, listening to great artists like Melissa Manchester and others like that are also great writers in the way that they write. And or the Bergmans, for example. Michel Legrand, or John Mandel. There's so many great writers out there, and so you get inspiration from everybody, and you try to incorporate it into your own style. But we are who we listen to in terms of musicians, right? Whoever we listen to, that's kind of how we sound like, because it's a language. So we're speaking the language of whoever we happen to be listening to at the time.
That's very, very true. I agree. Got a really cool shot here. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, so that was at Feinstein's at the Regency back in 2009, and I was opening for him that night, and that was a 4-month gig there. It was a really amazing opportunity, and actually he just recently moved into my neighborhood here too, so I haven't been over at his house yet, but I did go to over to his house the last time they did a I don't know if you saw that special. It was the Great American Songbook special.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And, went over there for a dinner, and they were filming, and they said, we're doing the special, and, signed the waiver and the whole thing. And then, so they're filming us having dinner, and then afterwards we moved to the salon and did some singing and stuff. It was really a lot of fun.
Boy, that's nice.
But yeah, Michael's been a great mentor really over the years, and just a really dear friend.
That's fantastic. And again, when you get a chance to have an opportunity to connect with people like that, it's great. This is a great shot.
Yeah, so that's at Catalina Jazz Club in Hollywood, and by the way, they're among many other clubs really in need of some support right now. So
yeah,
if you can support Catalina Jazz Club, any jazz club really right now.
Yeah, Birdland in New York is suffering too, and
yeah. So this bass player is the gentleman I was talking about before, Chuck Berghofer, and he's really been like a second father to me. He was the bass player on These Boots Are Made for Walking, the Nancy Sinatra tune, that doom 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 doom.
Yeah.
Bass line. And then he also played the famous bass line on the Barney Miller theme. You know, that boom, bo-do-dum, bo-do-dum.
Yeah.
That's his bass line too. So he's super nice guy, and plays with Michael Bublé and Barbra Streisand and everybody. He's just like a top call bass player. But since I've been working with him, when I hired him to play on my first record back in 2006, he's really been like a father to me, and just love him dearly.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful to have a relationship like that. A couple of questions or comments came in. Willie, who's in Holland, says, do you know Pia Beck?
I don't.
She was a jazz pianist from Holland.
I know the name, but I've never met her. No.
Yeah. And Linda in Florida says, did you listen to Ella Fitzgerald and listen to her style of jazz?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Ella was a big influence for scat singing, especially. Sarah Vaughan, Carmen McRae, and then I'd say Shirley Horn as well.
Yeah.
Piano player, singer. And then, more recently, Diana Krall, of course.
Diana Krall.
There aren't as many singer piano players out there, so
no.
But definitely Nat King Cole, as I mentioned, and Diana Krall, very iconic when I was younger. Mose Allison, another one. And then Chet Baker, even though he wasn't a piano player, again, just vocally, we have a similar kind of sound. So he was somebody who I checked out a lot, and I just loved, maybe because he was an instrumentalist as well, but the way that he phrased when he sang was similar to the way that he played. And I kind of think the same way when I'm playing piano. Like, how would I phrase if I'm singing? Try to play piano the same way that I would sing. Try to play lyrically, and so I tend to really like singers that also play instruments.
She says Ella is the queen of jazz, in her opinion.
Yeah,
she really is. She was amazing. Absolutely. Are there any others out there that you would love to work with, duet with, collaborate with, that are on your dream list, John?
Well, I mean, there's so many, but probably one of the younger people up right now would be Jacob Collier, just because he's such an amazing talent. You probably have heard of him.
Sure.
Multi-instrumentalist, and just his brain is just always going, and the way he thinks about harmony is just really fascinating to me. So I would love to sit down and talk with him and pick his brain about some things. So definitely somebody who I'd love to meet and work with. Yeah.
What was it like when you heard your name called to win the Grammy?
It was pretty cool. Yeah. I mean,
pretty cool. Yeah.
And Nancy, she's an amazing artist. She's just everyone who knows Nancy Wilson knows what a talent she was. And
absolutely.
Just to hear her sing that song too, was just really unbelievable.
And let the audience know which song it was that took home that Grammy.
These Golden Years.
Can you play a little of that?
Sure, I can. Now, I'm not Nancy Wilson, so you'll have to imagine. But because I didn't write it for myself, I wrote it for her. But I'll play a little bit of it for you so you can get the gist. Again, this is with the lyricist, the same lyricist that I wrote with on
Before We Say Goodnight, that Brazilian song that you heard. This is so Chan Berry wrote the lyrics for this.
Cool.
These golden years, those special times, A life full of charm, yet the end of an era, not a day. These golden days, those precious few, what a life that we have, just me and you. We must remember it's a time of fewer wants and dreams, peaceful days with music by a stream, knowing wealth is life itself. How could we complain with the life we have between us and the time that remains is full of wonderment and love. These golden hours lead to silver thoughts, a life full of charm, yet the end of an era, not a day. Life seems to go by in the blink of an eye. Life seems to go by in these golden years, in these golden years, in these golden years.
Really, really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can see that winning a Grammy. Congratulations on that. Absolutely spectacular. And I'm sure, and having heard that by Nancy, it is a beautiful song. Linda's right. It absolutely is. Gary says here, sounding good tonight, John. Gramps is smiling. I'm playing along too, I think. Love from Wisconsin.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks
Is
for coming.
that family?
Yeah. Yeah, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
David Schultz says, perfect.
Awesome. That's my brother-in-law. Hey, David.
Oh, that's wonderful.
He's a dancer in Chicago for Hubbard Street Dance Troupe there. So, yeah, wonderful. He and his wife.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good to have you with us, joining us on the show, David. A pleasure. Linda Odell says, beautiful song. Yeah, that was the Grammy-winning song we're talking about. Mary Bishop says, wow, fantastic. Kathleen says, claps, claps, claps. Really, really cool. You know, do you see yourself more as a singer that is the composer and the jazz pianist, or are you the musician and the composer before the singer? What speaks to your heart more strongly and first, if there is such a thing?
That's a good question, because there's so many great things about every aspect of
all of it,
right? I love to sing. I love to play. I think I love to sing and play to accompany myself because I know what I'm going to do, right? But I also love to accompany other singers. That's something that maybe being a singer and lets me be a little bit more sensitive to other singers when I'm accompanying them. So I really love to accompany, hence working with Melissa and Natalie and people like that. Just, kind of breathing where they breathe and that kind of thing, staying out of their way, trying to enhance if they sing a note, try to harmonize things. That's, to me, a real joy. So I'd probably say, if I had to choose, the accompanying, the harmony, the arranging, the writing over singing, even though I love to sing too. If I had to choose, that's probably what I would do, since I do love the collaboration process so much. And sometimes because I sing and play, some people don't necessarily think of me as an accompanist because well, he's already accompanying himself and everything. But then when I end up playing with them and I say, no, I don't have to sing. It's great. I can just play piano and accompany you and this is fine. You know, and then when we do that, then it turns out to be really fun to work together in that capacity. Like I like to wear the different hats, and sometimes I'll just be a piano player in a gig and not be singing. Other times I'll just be singing and there'll be a piano player. So there's so many different, you know, configurations and positions that you're in at different moments depending on what's needed musically.
Did you want to tickle the ivories with something else for us? I know you had a couple of things.
Yeah.
They're loving it. The comments that are coming in are really, really beautiful. David says, you just made this a golden day. And, you know, music, as we've talked about, like all forms of art, can be very therapeutic and very healing. And that's something that obviously we've definitely needed during these strange and unusual times. Huh? Have you found that to be the case as well, John?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's, I guess, different ways of looking at it. You can either think of like escapism, right? Like some people are really into anything that just gets them not thinking about, right?
Yeah.
The current events. And so something funny, I mean, like we love to watch funny movies, you know,
yeah,
and everything too.
Same here.
Nice to just not have to deal with the news and everything. But then there's also moments where you know, there's on a profound level of what's happening in the world. We do need kind of the really beautiful, meaningful kinds of songs.
Yes.
So I think that's also been really inspiring to hear and to also be writing that. And I think that's why I'm kind of getting into orchestration right now too.
Yeah.
A little bit more, is because there's so much beauty in orchestrating and hearing all the different instruments. And
love it. Yeah.
And, you know, that to me just like soothes my soul to hear all that. No matter what's happening out there, if I have that, it's like I feel better.
You feel centered, balanced, like your feet are on the ground, right?
That there's beauty in the world that we can focus on that is bigger and better than everything else that's out there that's trying to be negative and pulling everybody down, you know?
You know, it's interesting. I talked about it on this show with a couple of other guests. When Christmas was on its way, you know how sometimes the stores start playing the music early. Some radio stations do. They start putting out decorations and Christmas things early. From everything that I heard, this particular season, when the stores started putting out the Christmas lights and the music was playing and doing it, and of course in October, a lot of people weren't complaining like they normally would. I mean, I love Christmas music. I'm a big fan of it. I have lots of it, but they loved it. They were craving it because of those lullaby-like melodies that come back, and not necessarily, you know, grandma got run over by a reindeer, even though that's fun, but the "Oh Come All Ye Faithful" and some of the standard traditional Christmas music that we've all heard since birth,
right,
coming back year after year as sort of this comfort that no matter what went on during the course of the year, here comes Hanukkah, here comes Christmas, here comes this season of joy, and beautiful melodies are very important, whether it's singing it in church or singing it, you know, in temple, whatever it may be, hearing it waft through the stores, hearing it at home. People were really craving it, and they almost didn't want it to end when the season ended because it's so comforting. Do you find Christmas music the same way? I
do. Yeah. I love all those songs. There's a familiarity about them, comfort about them. And I mean, even just having lights up all year round, like it just feels like we should just keep Christmas going for a while because everyone just wants to feel good. Right. Maybe I'll do a Christmas song for you. I wrote a Christmas song and it's really geared towards those people that maybe aren't having a best Christmas, or they've lost somebody, maybe are feeling alone at this holiday. So this is called Christmas Blue. And we actually gave it to Al Jarreau, and he wanted to record it, but unfortunately he passed away. But he was going to record the song, so I'll do it for you now. And so this is for those that, you know, maybe can't be with. Well, really, most of us really couldn't get together with family. With family and everything, or if you've lost somebody, this is for you. So this is Christmas Blue, again written with
Chan Berry.
Beautiful.
I dream of snow, and I remember you. I feel the winter's chill, and I remember when life was warm and full, and I remembered you. At this time of year, it's Christmas blue, and with no love to call my own, I stand between a tear and cheer, as friends and lovers kiss, to a future with no fears. So I stand alone in a room with friends, and I'm pretending that my life is grand. But if you look into my eyes, you would see my shadowed smile is locked inside the season of Christmas blue.
That is really, really nice, my friend. Really, really beautiful. Where can people find that song?
They can't find it yet.
It's coming. Are you working on a Christmas album?
I'd like to. Yeah. That's kind of the next thing I think I'd like to do. Especially every year it comes back, and I hear this Christmas music. I go, I have a couple Christmas songs, and I would love to record some of those beautiful songs. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, have yourself a little Christmas, all those, what are you doing New Year's Eve? There's so many great songs out there that I love to sing when it comes around. In fact, because we didn't have a gig this Christmas, one thing I did for my neighbors, we live in this little condo complex where the kind of the everyone's garage kind of opens up to each other, and so I just put my keyboard out there one day. And of course, like the day it rains in LA is the day I was going to do it, right?
And when it rains, I was there last year on a TV shoot when the rains came. And when it rains there, it's like the same news coverage as a snowstorm here. It's like big.
Storm watch, 2021.
Yeah, that's right.
So I ended up just.
See, you're an announcer. Storm watch 2021 live team coverage. Breaking news, Doppler 3000.
Right. We got the chopper overhead. I got my keyboard out there, and then a neighbor luckily came out and brought a tent to put over that because it started raining, of course. And just ended up doing some Christmas carols, and people kind of had their umbrellas out there and were, socially distanced, hanging out at their pads, or just opened up their garage and listened, or opened up their windows and listened. And it was just my way of just, giving back and just to share joy, and because everyone really kind of needed that. And I got a lot of positive feedback of just like, thanks for just bringing some cheer. Because everyone was just kind of, stuck at home. So that was one way I could spread some joy.
Hearts Coming from Willie. Really nice. Loving all this music. Willie's still up, and it's like almost 3 a.m. in Holland, where she is. Wow, so beautiful. Really, really nice.
Thanks, Linda.
Gary's in Iowa. Does he take requests? Would he play It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I know that tune there as well, but yeah, that's a great tune. I do love Mr. Rogers' music. I mean, that's how I really got into, I mean, even that song Sing was from Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street. Those are the two shows that I could watch when I was a kid.
Right, exactly.
Guests on that show, and
they really did. Yeah, absolutely. So you were a public television kid growing up, PBS kid. Yeah. Me too. There was before the Christmas song, there was another one that you wanted to share with us. Which one was that?
Cruz Blues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll do Cruz Blues. This is a kind of lighten the mood a little bit. This is a kind of reminiscent of Mose Allison. It came at a time when, again, as most musicians trying to put a meal together and piece things together, this lyricist friend of mine, K. Lawrence Dunham, came up with this lyric, and I thought it was very apropos for musicians especially, and it's called Cruz Blues, and the punchline is, the more harder I work, the behinder I get. We can all relate to that.
Yes, we can.
Will some kind soul please tell me what in the world is going on? The ego flies on Friday. By Tuesday, my cash is all gone. I don't quite understand it. It makes me upset. The more harder I work, the behinder I get. I can't plan a real vacation. I bust my chops to make the rent. The way my landlord's talking, he could hike me 30%. I maxed out on my credit. I'm swimming in debt. The more harder I work, the behinder I get. I remember when, the way it used to be, you could stretch a dollar bill from sea to shining sea. Will someone please slap me before this whole mess drags me down? I might take up the notion to jump in the ocean and drown. They say relief is coming, I ain't seen it yet. The more harder I work, the behinder I get. I remember when, the way it used to be, you could stretch a dollar bill from sea to shining sea. If I could fix this picture, you can believe I surely would. 'Cause right around the corner, I might bump into something so good. Until that great day happens, I duly regret. The more harder I work, the behinder I get. The more harder I work, the behinder I get. The more harder I work, the behinder I get.
Cruz Blues.
That's cool. I love that.
Thank you.
And so does everybody else. Linda says, tapping my toes and snapping my fingers. Love this.
Cool.
Maureen's actually saying, this is the best part of my day. So relaxing. I love this too. This was really cool. I think this came in from, let's see, Willie saying this music is good for my health because she hasn't been well lately. So lovely. And I think that's, and Linda says, wow, so beautiful. And I love this. I love this opportunity I'm a very viewer centric person. I love to bring people in and play off like you do as well. Absolutely. And Julia says, welcome, Julia. You must be tapping your toes. Actually, I'm tapping my toes, my fingers, everything. Mary Bishop in Florida says, he's great.
Thanks, Mary.
Yes. I asked them, are we having fun? And they said, yes, he's great. Love it. I will dance. Absolutely. We are having fun. And are they tapping their toes? They sure are. What are some other things that are on your bucket list, John? Things that you would still love to do? I mean, you've done so much and continue to, and you've had a wonderful progression. And while doing this and maintaining this career, also, a family as well. And there is the balance of it all. Through everything that we've been going through, you've had a wonderful opportunity to spend some extra time with the family, which actually is quite a beautiful and rare opportunity for a lot of performers, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a time that, I won't get back this time. So I feel like it's been great to be able to have this time with my kids, especially once they go back to school full time, because we've been doing everything online, and we're just used to being together now so much that, I think when we're all kind of back, when things get back to normal, in quotes, it will be kind of sad in some ways to have not lost the connection, but just not to be together all the time like we have been. It's definitely grown closer as a family, and that's been really a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. What are some things that are still on that bucket list that John, I mean, composer and singer and pianist and all these other incredible things, producer.
Yeah.
What else do you have up your sleeve?
Well, I would love to write for film, and so some of the orchestration ideas will be eventually, I think, to do some film scoring, and also some songwriting for film. So to have some songs placed in some movies, I think would be a very cool thing too. Whether it's me singing or somebody else, doesn't matter. But I just love to get something in a movie, because especially being in LA, this is the place to do it. So that's on the bucket list.
Names like Henry Mancini, John Williams, Hans Zimmer have all had wonderful movie music. Fans of those folks as well.
Yeah, and John Williams, started off as a jazz piano player, so there's a lot of crossovers. And when you listen to his music, you hear a lot of those jazz elements and what he does. So I think that's where I get some of the inspiration, is listening to some of those great film scores, and now kind of experimenting myself in dabbing in that and seeing how. I mean, I think when I play, I kind of think of an orchestration anyway, but it's nice to actually hear the violins or to hear the woodwinds playing a certain line that you wrote, and write in the dynamics and hear them make music, even if it is virtual.
Linda asks, how about a musical? I'm ready to watch it when you perform a musical, maybe like a Broadway musical or something, music for it.
That'd be great too. Yeah. Another bucket list.
Have you dabbled in any of that musical kind of music?
No, I haven't. But that's something that would be interesting to, again, it would have to be a collaboration, since I don't generally write lyrics. So maybe if I teamed up with somebody who was, a lyricist that was into writing for musicals, I would love to.
I have several friends in New York who do just that. That's what they do. Yeah. Kathleen in New York says, would love to see you perform in person. So nice. And is that something that you've been doing, seeing John Proulx in concert individually, as opposed to collectively with some of the other artists?
Yeah. I have my own trio that I work with. Chuck Berghofer, the bass player in that picture that you showed, as well as Joe LaBarbera, a wonderful drummer here. But there's so many great musicians here that I play with. So I have a book of music, and I have, probably 20 people per instrument I can call that are going to be amazing, and we do, gigs under my name as a trio. Usually I play and sing, and some nice clubs here in town. One I really like to play at a lot called Vibrato, which is in Beverly Hills or Bel Air. And you're always running into celebrities there, and they just really, it's a beautiful room with a great grand piano. And in fact, when this whole quarantine thing happened, they opened up outside, and they had the lights, and it was really pretty and everything too. And I did a little show there too. But now they're not doing that for a little while. Hopefully, everyone will be back soon. But yeah, I usually playing with my own trio, sometimes a quartet too, with the saxophonist or trumpet player. Especially if I'm doing the Chet Baker thing, usually I'll have a trumpet player on stage too.
Have you had any contact with the Chet Baker family at all? Have they heard you and say, "My God, you sound like Chet"?
No, but interestingly enough, there was back in 2006, there was a guy here in LA who is a music supervisor who was going to release a movie about Chet, and he kept saying, like, "I want you to be the voice of Chet. You sound just like him," But then anyway, funding didn't happen, and this and that. And then another movie came out. I don't know if you saw that one with Ethan Hawke playing Chet.
Yeah.
Born to Be Blue, I think it was called. And so then he said, now it's not happening, of course, because this other movie just came out about Chet. But I did contact the music supervisor for that, and it's Canadian based, actually, the musicians and everything, and the writer of that music, they're Canadian. And so he did mention, he said, well, shoot, I would have known, if I'd known that, I would have had you, part of the movie. But they do some shows where they feature the music of the film. And so I might be doing some work for them in the future. We'll see, playing the voice of Chet.
That's incredible. Good luck with that. Fingers crossed that happens. Yeah. I know it would be, something that you definitely not only would be pinching yourself, but it's probably right up there with getting the Grammy in terms of life experiences to be able to do that and to pay, homage and honor to somebody like Chet, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Chet, again, amazing musician. And there's his photographer, William Claxton, has this book called The Jazz Life. It's this huge book, and it, I think it's like $300, and it's huge, thick, and he used to travel around with Chet and take his picture, and he would travel around so much with him, and that's why he got so many great pictures, because it was very, like almost like he wasn't even there, so that's why he had so many intimate pictures of Chet, and he came to Vibrato one night, in fact, when I was playing there, and he came up to me and said, "You sound just like Chet." And he said, "Here's some photos of Chet that I took," and I'm looking at these famous photos. I said, "Wow, you're William Claxton? This is amazing," And he said, "Well, maybe I can come over sometime and hear you play." And I thought, well, okay. And so he came over one day, and he said, "Do you mind if I bring my camera?" And he ended up taking pictures of me at the piano, and I use those for my first album, and that was Chet's photographer. So anyways, all these connections
unbelievable
have happened here because of that.
Gary's asking, how many albums do you have? I just bought 4 of your CDs.
That's it. Thank you for buying all of them. That's my whole collection there.
That's the collection, right? Exactly.
And I have some guests on some other people's CDs as well, but those are the ones under my name.
There's the website too, if you want to check out more about John and his CDs and his career and his music. Absolutely. So some of the blessings in your life that are quite abundant. Obviously, you're an observer of life as well. Where do you think your inspiration comes from to prepare all this wonderful material? When Melissa was on, I don't know if you heard, she said something, alluded to something of the effect, and I asked a couple of other artists this as well to get their feeling on it. She says, when I'm inspired, when I either wake up from a dream or just something hits me, I got to go right to the piano and I got to start working it out and playing it immediately, and maybe even setting up a tape recorder and recording it, because the longer I wait to separate myself from that initial aha moment, brainstorm, inspiration, it gets weaker, more diluted, and I start losing what the initial fervor and zest of that idea was. So she has to get it, start playing it out and recording it just so she has that rawness recorded and saved. How about you?
Yeah, similar for me. Although when I usually hear those kind of things like right before I'm about to fall asleep or right when I'm about to wake up. And so for me, like, I have to figure it out in my head before I can go back to sleep or wake up or whatever it is. Because and it could be an arranging thing, it could be a song idea, but it's like it has to go through. I have to process it. I don't need a piano for it necessarily because it's just kind of what I'm hearing, but it's something that I can't do anything else until it's completed, right? So it just keeps going around, and that happens a lot. And it's usually a project that I'm working on at the time. So it's usually you do something and then you go away from it and you come back to it, but it's still there, right? It's still in your mind saying,
it's still going. Yeah.
It's almost like you need that time so that your mind can just relax and figure out what you already know you can do, just trusting in that. And then when you come back to it, whatever happened, whether it's a new composition or an arrangement, then all of a sudden things start clicking because you've really been kind of thinking about it, even if it's not something that you're doing, actively, it's still there.
Mm-hmm. I like that. And that's the thing, because otherwise, does it haunt you if you don't work through it or you don't address it? Will it haunt you and keep you up or not let you sleep?
I have to finish it before I can sleep. Yeah, because it's like just keeps going, right? It's like something that's stuck and you have to figure it out. Okay, let me try that now. Okay, no. Finally go, that's it. And then I don't know, I remember it, but then the next day I do have to go to the piano and actually play it.
That's cool. That's cool. A couple of comments coming in here. Christine says, my father and I loved listening to Chet Baker together. I really enjoyed all of John's songs tonight. Fantastic musician. Gary will be waiting for more new CDs coming in the future. So, because he already scooped up all 4, which is great. Yeah, our lovely viewers are very passionate and we love them for that. We'd love to see you perform in person. And again, on the website, you'll be able to keep abreast as those things start to eventually happen. He'll keep you abreast of all that. And of course, we'll have you back too.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Anne says, this is a great distraction for me today. Thank you. Love your music.
Oh, thanks, Anne.
Bernadette, loving all the music. Christine, fun and upbeat songs like these bring out the joy in us. Hard to be down after hearing this song. I enjoy you, John Proulx.
Thank you.
Which is nice. And when you hear feedback like that, when you hear how the music, whether you're singing it, composing it, playing it, or all of the above, really touches the hearts and minds and souls of people. How does that make you feel? I'm sure it's extraordinary. It's as cathartic and therapeutic and joyful for you doing it and knowing that it touches their lives as much as it is for them to be touched by it, huh?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, as musicians, first of all, we do things that we love to do, right? Whether it's we have to get the song out, right? Or it's I'm hearing this beautiful melody, I'm going to play it, but then eventually it gets out there. And I think we need that extra step of sharing it. I mean, what's music if it's not shared, right? You could have this beautiful song that you just play for yourself, but that's selfish in a way, you know what I mean? I feel like music needs to be shared. And the point of music as a healing element, I think is really pretty amazing that, a song that could touch somebody else. I've had a lot of people that have contacted me that have said, we used whatever song it was that I wrote for them, for my, father's funeral, or for a wedding, or, for these big events that are, really big deals in people's lives. And the fact that they would want to use your music for that, to me, is very touching. And it just shows how much music can affect people in positive ways. And I think that should be the goal of all of us as musicians, to reach people in that way, to touch them.
And sometimes I imagine you've had where people have either written, or they've sent a message on social media, or they've greeted you after a performance and just came up to you and say, I've been listening to you for a while, or I followed you and I never had really the nerve to write or to communicate, but there was something that you did that really moved me, and they're compelled to share that with you. So they know that and that's really an amazing thing when that happens, isn't it?
It really is. And there is something that came to mind as you were speaking, that picture you showed of me in that room with Beverly Hogan and some other musicians rehearsing. Funny story about that in terms of
this song. One here?
Yeah. So when we first started working together, me and Beverly, we were picking songs for her show, and she said, wait, I have to show you a song that I just found out. And she pulled out some music,
Mm.
I heard this singer, Mary Stallings, sing this great song, and she put it up in front of me, and I started playing. I said, Beverly, this is my song. I wrote this.
Wow.
It was the song "Stuck in a Dream" that Mary Stallings actually recorded, who's a great singer in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And Beverly had heard that, got the music, and then just by coincidence, I happened to be working with her, and then that's the song that she picked. And anyway, there's a lot of those kind of serendipity moments that happen, but I feel like we're sort of all meant to be together. It's such a small world, and music really kind of connects us in a very deep way. Maybe I'll do "Stuck in a Dream" because that's a song that also was recorded by Deana Martin, Dean Martin's daughter.
Yeah, she's a dear friend. Yeah, she's wonderful. Yeah.
On her
And
album,
her husband, John Griffith, who's wonderful.
yeah. So this was on her album Destination Moon, and it's cool. Speaking of like orchestrating, this song was orchestrated out for her album. So it's strings and the whole thing. So you have to kind of imagine.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. And "Stuck in a Dream." I'll do the stripped down version for you right now, but if you'd like to hear the orchestral version, you can listen to Deana's great version of it too. So here's "Stuck in a Dream" with lyrics by K. Lawrence Dunham.
Sensational.
Careful now, don't play with my heart. I could fall in love, that may not be smart. For then, where would you be? Stuck in a dream with me. Careful now, your lips on my cheek, your hand stroking mine, the way your eyes speak could seal your destiny. Stuck in a dream with me. Funny how life goes. Who can say when love is real? Yet here I am, telling you how I feel. Careful now, stop leading me on before it's too late and all hope is gone. Unless you want to be caught in a dream, lost in a dream, stuck in a dream with me.
Really, really nice. When you penned that, what were you thinking? What was the inspiration for that?
Well, that's interesting because there were no lyrics when I wrote it. It was just an instrumental tune first. And so I just had the melody. I wrote it when I was in Chicago as a student there at Roosevelt University. And I put a little demo together of songs that I wrote, instrumental songs. And when I moved to LA, I had this demo and I sent it around to some different lyricists. And Kay heard that and he said, how about this? And he showed me this lyric. And it's interesting because it's kind of a sad lyric, obviously, right? Stuck in a dream. And for me, it was more of when I wrote it, it was more of an uplifting, kind of happy, I didn't know what I was thinking. I just had this happy thought. But so it was interesting when he put that darker lyric to it, but it works for the song. It's like one of those perfect kind of meldings of lyric and melody that came together. But it's funny how you don't always know how the song is going to be
right
until it's finished. You may have an idea of how you think it's going to be when you write it, but then someone comes along with some lyric. It's like, whoa, I wasn't thinking that, but how cool that now has become this other thing. So that's how that song came about.
And that's great how you're open to allow that process to happen, because not everybody does that. Some people, it's my baby. The whole thing's going to be my vision, no changes, no alterations, but you're willing to have other ideas sort of flow in and play with it and test the waters to see what those other little nuances are that they add in that maybe takes the material to another level, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think being open to the collaboration process is what makes for the better, like the greater good, right? It's like you can't hold on to things and think it can't change, because you're sort of missing an opportunity to make it better, right? And I feel like people can bring out different parts of us, and challenge us in good ways to make the song better, because it's really about the music. I feel like we're vessels of the music. The music just needs to come out. But in sharing with someone else like that and creating something together, I think is when the real magic happens.
You know, what you just said is what we're all hoping for in the new year, the coming together and many voices and collaboration. And, you know, I've said it almost, it turns out that I'm saying it almost on every episode of the Jim Master Show Live, is I'm hoping that through everything that we've been through collectively and individually, pandemic and economic and political craziness and the social unrest and everything that we've experienced and continue to experience, that we don't necessarily return to a normal. I hope we approach and reach a better, where we're more empathetic, kinder, compassionate. We listen to each other. Everybody's talking everybody's, you know, spewing. There's the divisiveness. Right. In all realms of life, not just political, but a lot of different, you know, even at a supermarket, you see people yelling and so it's kind of like, and I said this earlier today, I said, I think what happened was there were three major energies that came together. And I know our audience has heard me say this before, the divine, or essence of divine, whatever, you know, people want that to be, a divine energy, as well as planet Earth and Mother Nature. The three big ones came together and said back in like February, March, enough, stop. Right. You guys are moving too fast. You're just hooked on social media. You got your head stuck in the cell phone, social distancing before we even had to social distance for all good, because we had our head stuck in the cell phone. Right. Everybody yelling and divisiveness and all the violence and all the hatred and the neglect of the planet and all these things happening at once. Stop. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw a pandemic and economic disaster and civil unrest and political, and we're going to do it not, you know, one thing a year, which any one of those is enough for a year. We're going to throw them all together at the same time. Yeah, right. And we want to see the divine Mother Nature, planet Earth, how you humans deal with it. Are you going to be worse for it? Or are you going to be better for it? And we've seen the worst of the worst, and we've seen the best of the best. And I think that hopefully we will be a little more loving, empathetic, creative, more collaborative. We listen, and that we, you know, rise from the ashes that way. That's my hope. And I'm seeing traces of that happening. Not everywhere, but there are traces of it happening. And are you hoping something similar?
I am, yes. And I hope there will be a renaissance of all this pent up music and emotion and love and goodness that we all as artists want to share, that we haven't been able to. I mean, we can do this, but we can't in person right now. And how much of that is just going to gush out when we are finally able to. It's going to be the biggest party we've ever seen, right? And in a good way, it's going to be all this pent up creativity. And I feel like there's going to be a huge renaissance of art, music, the things that really the important things of life, right? I think, again, kind of the reset of having this happen right now is forced us to prioritize the important things in life. And I think whether you like it or not, it does make you kind of deal with yourself, right? I mean, when you're by yourself, it's like, you know, the universe is telling you you're stuck, figure it out, you know. When we get back together, I think it's going to be, I think we'll all hopefully approach it a little differently with more compassion and more love. And I think as artists too, just this creative renaissance, I think will happen. I'm hoping will happen.
Yeah. You're bursting at the seams to have it happen.
Mhm.
Mm. And you and I still haven't had haircuts since it started.
No.
And it's kind of cool, isn't it?
I have pictures when I'm 15 with this haircut, and like, now I'm back. I'm regressing. I'm going backwards. He was like, "You look a lot younger lately. What is it?" I said, "I don't know. Maybe I haven't got a haircut in, 7 months, 8 months."
I think that it will be, it's going to be amazing. I think when, things start to settle and hopefully people come together, I just hope we stay united and we stay forward and hopeful and positive, and we don't just all become me again. Okay, me. I really hope that people do. This has been a real teachable moment. It's been a life learning moment, and a lot of people have reassessed their careers, their relationships, their lives. Exactly what you said, John. A lot of people have been looking in the mirror and saying, "Who am I? Who have I been? Who do I want to be? Next chapter."
Right.
What are some of the things that I haven't done that I still want to do? Write the book, learn guitar, whatever it is, and I think that's quite beautiful. They've been cleaning closets and baking bread, but there's been some other deeper things,
Yeah.
self-evaluation and rejuvenation that have been happening during this time
Mhm.
that I think hopefully we'll be able to continue to carry through as we continue moving forward, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think also as a parent, being there for your kids and
Because it's been tough on the kids seeing all of this.
but also kind of creating a safe space for them
Right.
and a loving and a happy space too, not bombarding them with the realities of the world. They don't, my daughter maybe knows a little more because she's a little older, but my son, he doesn't need to know all the craziness of the
Yeah.
world. He just needs to know that his parents and family are going to be here and love him, and you know what's for dinner, Dad, and come play
Yeah,
with me, Dad. I
right.
mean, it's like all the normal things that we oftentimes take for granted, but those are important things, I think, and having this time is let everybody kind of, I think, focus on those important things.
When we were kids, I know for us, we were kids. We were out playing outside. We were doing our thing. We didn't always know everything that the adults knew. We were able to be kids and experience childhood and all of that. And absolutely, yeah. And I say it to a lot of people. I said, the kids are watching. The kids are listening. The kids are, whatever they see the adults doing, they're soaking it up.
Right.
So you want to have it be positive and hopeful as much as you can, of course.
Yeah, we laugh a lot at home. That's something we do a lot, and just always laughing, cracking jokes, just keeping it light, because there's like you said, there's so much happening outside of the home. It's just nice to create that space for them where it's fun, and it's obviously it's not always fun, but I mean, we try to keep it light and loving and supportive, and of course my wife and I talk about all that stuff, but we try when we're with the kids to just focus on them and what their needs are at that time, and just be there for them. And it's been really nice in a way. It's slowed everybody down, I think, kind of what you were saying too. Just everybody just has to slow down and be present, I think is a good thing too. Just being present in the moment.
Very important. And as I always say on this show, I tell everybody to breathe deeply, breathe from the diaphragm, and to love one another and to love yourself, and be sure during all of that, like you just said, to slow down and take time to appreciate life, to appreciate, like if you just wrote a song that everybody loves, stop and reflect in it and relish in it, and make sure, and no matter what it is we all do in our lives, instead of always going to the next, cleaning out the inbox, answering the calls, rushing, then life goes faster. And then you're in a rocking chair at 90 saying, wow, I did a lot, but do I remember it? And did I enjoy it? So you have to take those pauses in between as best as you can to savor in the experiences and to relish the accomplishments. And as I always say, to relax, to make sure you relax.
Yes, you have to relax.
It's so important to do that, my friend.
Yeah.
Did you want to play something quick final, maybe to take us out?
Yeah, I will. I'll do a kind of a hopeful song for you all. This is a song I wrote with K. Lawrence Dunham. It's called "Before You Know It," and it has a very positive lyric. So I think this is a nice song to go out on. Jim, thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely.
love, is it lovely? How do you pronounce it?
The Lovities. Levity, yeah. It's
Thank you.
levity and love together, and it just, I stumbled on it.
That's great. So thanks so much for having me on your show, and we'll close with this song.
Yeah, we'll do a little goodbye when you get back. I just wanted to show you somebody that's been thoroughly enjoying the evening along with us, George Burns.
Oh, look at that. George Burns, yeah.
Yeah. You could do that voice too, huh?
Yeah, George. Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. When you're having a gloomy day, here's the answer to shoo the blues away. You sing a swinging tune, then you'll be smiling soon. Before you know it, you'll start laughing out loud. If the weather looks gray ahead, and you're thinking you should have stayed in bed, you find a happy song and tap your foot along. Before you know it, you'll be out in the sunshine, carefree, having a great time, just like me, chasing the blues away. When you're having a gloomy day, here's the answer to shoo the blues away. You sing a swinging tune, then you'll be smiling soon. Before you know it, you'll start laughing out loud. If the weather looks gray ahead, and you're thinking you should have stayed in bed, you find a happy song and tap your foot along. Before you know it, you'll be out in the sunshine, carefree, having a great time, just like me, shooing the blues. We'll be through with the blues, losing the blues, chasing the blues away.
Really, really nice, my friend. I mean, what better song than Chasing the Blues Away, in that thought process of just whatever comes at us, just keep going forward, keep moving forward. And that's a great, great song.
That's on my Chet Baker album, Baker's Dozen.
You have great variety and range in your abilities and in your playing, John. You're really very versatile. And I'm sure you've heard that from a lot of people as well, huh?
Yeah, kind of an all-around, musician in that way, which is all the things I love to do. I think I like to mix it up as much as possible so I don't get bored at any one thing. It's nice to, play, sing, write, arrange, all that.
And enjoy it too, and not just make it. It's not just the labor of it, but it's the love of it as much as it is the blood, sweat, and tears of it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's very, very gratifying to play and to accomplish something, but then there's also the point of just sitting down and playing something just for your soul, just to not for any purpose other than just to make music. As a way to heal yourself.
Absolutely, my friend. It really, really, really is. I just want to show you some of the comments that have been coming in, and while you were playing, there's this wonderful person who wrote us, and she said that she has been really enjoying our conversation and the music, and she said that you are great. You are great.
Thank you.
And she also added in that she's biased because she's your mother.
Oh, look at that. Hey, Mom.
You can't top that, right?
That.
That's what you really call lovity.
That's right.
That's lovity right there. My mother watches as well. My folks, my family, they always watch the show, and my relatives, and it's nice. Have been enjoying the conversation. Thank you very much, Suzanne. And the music, John, is great, but I'm biased.
Yeah.
Love John's mom. Is she in Michigan?
No, she's in Florida, Tampa, Florida.
My folks are Florida too. Florida, the Midwest and the East Coast. Florida is.
That's the next logical step.
It is, absolutely. Bernadette says, thank you, John, for sharing your music and your time with us.
My pleasure.
Really nice. And Maureen says, what a lovely evening this has been. Thank you, John, for your wonderful music. And that's what we're all about, folks. If you're watching the Jim Masters Show live for the very first time, we're on every single day with our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. And it's all about positivity, good conversation, levity, entertainment. We have it all on this show. I second that amen from Mona, who's in Louisiana.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Willie is still up at like almost 4 a.m. in Holland.
Amazing.
But she's loving it. She says, what? 3:20 a.m. I will not sleep. The music is so nice. That's nice. And in your neck of the woods over there in Southern California, claps, claps, claps. Awesome from Kathleen in New York City.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Bernadette says, thank you for chasing our blues away. And I knew that would be the case. I really have enjoyed your singing and piano playing tonight, John. Thank you. That's Linda in Florida, in St. Augustine. Beautiful area. Mona says, thank you, John, for being here tonight. Jim, as always, thank you for another great show. Thanks again for another lovely night. Hope everyone has a great night. You as well.
You too.
East Coast absolutely loves St. Augustine, Florida, because she's in St. Augustine. Absolutely.
Great.
Kathleen says, this was wonderful. Thank you, Jim and John. Christine, and she's in New York City. Thanks, Kathleen. John, you gave us a swinging evening. I really enjoyed tonight's conversation and every single song you performed. A very uplifting time together. You are a talented, fun lovity. Thanks. You add that to your resume. You'll see what happens. The doors will burst open for you. You want a film score? You got it. Just say I'm a lovity. That's how it works. Grammy and then lovity. Beautiful evening. Thank you, John, from Karen, who's been watching along in Nova Scotia. Wow. Have you performed in Canada at all or had Canadian connections?
Yeah, I played in Toronto a couple of times, but yeah, I love it up there. It's beautiful.
Jim and John and all the lovelies, that was beautiful. Thank you, John, for coming on the show and sharing your life story with all of us lovities. You are now a lovity. Gary says, John, thank you for sharing your music tonight. Mary Bishop, this was a wonderful evening. Fantastic music conversation. Take care, John.
Thank you.
Willie says, John, thank you. If you want to feel good, just come on our show. Your music and our show together. These are feel-good things. Mr. Rogers would be proud of us.
Yeah.
We're keeping his tradition going. It's actually Jimmy Roberts, who's a wonderful composer. I don't know if you know Jimmy Roberts. If you scroll back in our YouTube channel, you can see the wonderful conversation we've had with him. He's been in it for like 50 years. He's in New York. Wonderful, wonderful gentleman. He said that one of the fans of his or followers of his watched the episode when he was a guest on the show. And it was a wonderful conversation like this, inspiring, relaxing, not scripted, free-flowing, conversational, and with music and all. And the fan of his or follower or friend of his said, I watched that show and I loved the conversation. I loved you being on Jim's show. And I have to say that Jim is the Mr. Rogers for adults. That's the first time I ever heard that. I'm like, the Mr. Rogers for adults.
That's good. Yeah.
That's a cool compliment. I love it.
Right.
Willie says, John, thank you for your beautiful music. I relaxed, and that is good for her because she has been under the weather. Bernadette says, music definitely helps us hold on in uncertain times like these. And Wozniak says, thank you, John, for this wonderful evening of music. And Kathleen says, this is the place if you need to smile. Thank you, Kathleen. And Karen says, beautiful evening. Thank you, John. John, this really was sensational. You're a great spirit, a great soul.
Thank you.
A good egg, a good guy, and it was really a pleasure. And I know when we reached out to you to invite you on the show through some of our wonderful connections, you hopped right on. You said, Jim, I'm excited. You tell me where and when, and I'll get it in there. And with having your family and the busy time, I really appreciate that. You're welcome back anytime. I hope the show met your expectations and that you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you.
Thank you so much. Really great meeting you. And this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Absolutely. I hope that whether you're on the East Coast or I'm out on a TV shoot on the West Coast, we get together and break bread. That would be an honor and a pleasure, my friend. Absolutely. Yeah, I really appreciate it. The best to you.
Thank you. You too.
Is the family in the house?
They're downstairs. Yeah.
So have they been like all staying there, staying quiet and just go?
Should we watch TV? Should we turn off the TV for the internet? You know, like how does it?
How does this work? Will it interfere with the Wi-Fi?
Right.
Well, thank them for doing that. And we had a young guy on in his early 20s named Oscar Blue. He's an Irish pop singer, and he's up and coming. And he did his conversation while he was in his college dorm. I think it's Trinity College in Dublin, and he's in the room. In the dorm room with 5 other college dorm mates.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know how he did it during this, conversation. He got all 5 guys to be able to go in the kitchen and not say a word or a sound during the whole thing.
Wow.
Could you imagine that?
Trying to get friends. I
said, you're in Ireland, you owe all of them a Guinness.
Yeah.
That's it. Bye, John.
Good night.
We wait for you to come back. That's beautiful. We'll
Bye.
keep the porch light on for you, my friend. You're welcome back anytime. And again, we encourage folks to go to the website and check you out. There is that website as well. Let's stay connected. Keep me posted on everything you're doing. And you be well, you stay well, and keep producing all this incredible music for the good of all of us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on your show.
You have a good night.
You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
You too. Incredible, huh? Absolutely amazing. And again, another Knock It Out of the Park broadcast. Thanks for all the great comments, everybody. Love it. And again, John is amazing. Grammy-winning composer as well as singer and jazz pianist. He really graced us with a lot of terrific music tonight. I told you it was going to be a musical Saturday night on our show with inspiring conversation, knowledge building, lots of laughs, levity, and of course, bringing all of you lovities in from all around the world. It is cool. I hope you're enjoying all of our shows if this is your first time, or maybe you just popped on and just started watching the Jim Masters show live recently. We've been doing this night after night, day after day. Today we had 2 shows. We were on from 3 to 5 with a wonderful, brilliant singer-songwriter from Greece, George Paris. You can see that episode on Jim Masters TV at YouTube. And then we had a quick dinner and checked in with the news, checked in with the family, and then right back in the chair and presenting 2.5 more hours of levity, light, and inspiration for all of you on our unique entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Something different every night. The conversation, the topic, the flow, the vibe. The vibe's always the same. The vibe is always warm, fun, light, conversational, positive, and we let it roll and let it flow. But some of the themes and the topics, those, alter based on whatever's going on. So hope you guys have enjoyed it. And let's take a look at some more of our fabulous comments coming in. You guys are the best with your comments, and the guests always love it as well. Before we look at the comments, I've got to tell you, huge show tomorrow. Big whopper of a show, right? Whopper of a show. Nathan Carter, big show. Everybody's excited here in the United States, Canada, and Europe. Nathan Carter is Ireland's leading country music singer. He's originally from England. He's going to be live from Ireland tomorrow. All excited. Really brilliant star. He's going to be here tomorrow exclusively. Now, take a look at the time that you see on the screen. We're going to be on earlier. We will be on at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. GMT. That is 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which basically is Ireland, Scotland, England, Spain, France, all throughout those regions. Nathan is going to be with us for an exclusive guest appearance on the Jim Masters Show Live. I interviewed Nathan about a year or so ago on public television. He came into the studio and he was amazing. So he's our guest tomorrow, live from Ireland. He's very popular, and we're looking forward to having him on the show. And it's going to be great. That's our show tomorrow. One show, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. That's exclusively on our YouTube channel. So anybody watching us on Facebook right now, make sure you check us out on YouTube. We would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our content, any of our action that we have. And that'll be awesome. Love to see you there. Just want to let you know as well, Rebecca Harkin is going to be joining us in about a week or so. Her brother, of course, Keith Harkin from Celtic Thunder originally, great performer. She's going to be live performing from Australia. She's going to be coming up. Very popular, well-known actor and singer Sam Harris is joining us next Saturday, actually, a week from tonight. He's going to be here on our show. And so many more. You want to have your dreams analyzed? We were talking about dreams this evening as well. Well, dream analyst and author Patricia Eltinge is going to be with us on Friday night, and she's going to be taking some comments from the viewers. So if you write in and you tell us about some of the dreams you've had, she's going to analyze them live on the air coming up next Friday. And Nikita Burstin, who's a brilliant Broadway actor and singer and performer and dancer from San Francisco, California, is going to be with us as well. Anson Williams, who starred in Happy Days, is going to join us as well, and on and on and on. Lots of great guests coming up. Taking a look once again at some of the quick photos here. There's John Proulx with the one and only phenomenal Melissa Manchester, who was a guest on our show a few weeks back. You can see that episode on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Again, if you're looking for any of his albums, here are the albums. There's Baker's Dozen. There's The Best Thing for You, Moon and Sand, and then the latest album. And the one that he was talking about, Chet Baker, Baker's Dozen. The celebration of Chet Baker is that particular one, if you're looking for that one specifically. And then the latest, which he also played a cut or two from, Say It. Really, really cool. He also mentioned Deana Martin. Deana Martin is a wonderful friend of mine. I've had an opportunity to know her and her husband, John, for a good long while. Beautiful person. And there's John doing his thing. Again, Grammy-winning composer and wonderful singer and jazz pianist. Really, really great. Good stuff. And of course, the love of his life. Very important. Inspiring others. Ann Hampton Calloway, who was a guest on our show. If you missed that episode, we just recently re-uploaded it on our YouTube channel. And loving tennis, too. He loves tennis as well. Good stuff, gang. We're going to get ready to wrap up here. 2 shows. Yes, check it all out. And 230 episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live are on our YouTube channel. Good night to you, and good night to absolutely anybody that's not feeling well. Get better. Christine, Willie, everybody. I hope you're all feeling better. I know it's been tough lately. It's been tough. Good night, everyone. We pray for peace, and hopefully everything is a peaceful week. We have a big inauguration coming up. And regardless of what political bent you're on, we do need peace. We need solace. We all need to come together. We really need to come together. Again, not talking politics, not picking any sides, none of that jazz. Jazz, Tonight was a lot of jazz. Just saying that overall, in order for the earth to continue to spin on its axis smoothly, we have to come together. We have to listen to one another. We have to have some peace, solidarity, and hope. That's what it's all about. I say it every time when I scream at the television. I work in television radio, and sometimes I scream at it when I see some of the nutty things and the crazy things that are going on in our world, the things that people are doing to one another, the things that they're saying to one another, how they're treating one another, the hatred and divisiveness. It's unreal and it's uncalled for. It's nonsense. We got to just unify however we do it. Just unify all around the world too, not just in this country. Prayers. Absolutely, Willie. You got it. Christine says, I was thinking, Jim, the Jim Master Show Live is like the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, except your show is Chicken Soup for the Lovity Soul. Love that. You're very welcome, Willie. Peace, love, lovity. You got it, Linda. Anybody that missed this show will be able to see it in its entirety on our YouTube channel. Good night, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening. Take care. Mary, I hope you enjoyed yourself tonight. Anne, thank you for a wonderful day of entertainment. My pleasure, Anne, in Southern California. And if I'm out there on a TV shoot, I'll let you know, and maybe we can grab a bite. That'd be nice to meet you, Anne. Good night, Jim, Mr. Lovity, and all the great Lovities. That color looks great on you. Stay safe and see you next time. Everybody's been commenting. I had so many comments when I wore this shirt earlier in the day when I had George Paris on live from Athens, Greece. And it's like a blue velvet. Do you want to reach in and sort of touch it? It's very soft. There you go. Blue velvet. Remember that song? That was Bobby Vinton, wasn't it? Blue Velvet? Yeah, Blue Velvet was Bobby Vinton. Who knows Bobby Vinton? I'm sure some of you do. Good music transcends the ages. It doesn't matter the generation, the time period, whatever. Good music carries through. Good vibes do too. Yeah, so it's a blue velvet. It's kind of cool. It's very soft. What I like is just so it's got pockets here, which they don't open, but see, you can come in there. There you go. It's just really soft and it's sort of nice, comfy. Thanks for the compliments on the shirt. And it seems to be a hit all day long on both shows. Thank you for a wonderful day of entertainment, Ann. Thank you very much. Good night, Jim, Mr. Levity, and the great Levities. That color looks great on you. Stay safe. See you next time. Absolutely. And Wozniak, thank you, Jim, for another evening. Good night, everyone. Wishing everyone happy dreams. You as well, Ann. Hope you have a good night as well. And everybody says good night to one another. I like that. You all say good night to one another. We've created what a community we've created here of kindness and comfort and fun, right? It's cool. I think this stuff's cool. To me, it's cool. Good night, Jim and Lovity. Stay safe, stay well. See you tomorrow. Nathan Carter, it's going to be an amazing show, 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, remember, we're on YouTube exclusively, Jim Masters TV, at 3 p.m. So if you're looking for us at 7 p.m. tomorrow, we won't be on. We'll be having dinner. 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, England, GMT time with Nathan. It's going to be great. He's really, really a cool guy. Have a great night, Jim. Good night, all. Stay safe. Be well. You too, Kathleen Walker. I know Karen's excited about Nathan tomorrow, live from Nova Scotia. And Jim, you are great. Thank you very much. You sent me Damien a new song. Thank you very much. Kathleen Walker, have a great night, Jim. Good night. Stay safe. Be well. Willie is still up. Willie had a good night. I think this was chicken soup for Willie tonight. Not feeling well. I think her spirits were lifted tonight with our show. Well, that's what we want to do on these shows. We want to lift your spirits. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Fabulous. See if we missed any. Hopefully we didn't miss any. Sherry says, good night, Lovity. Stay safe. See you again soon. You too, Sherry. Can't wait. He's great. Nathan. Suzanne. Jim, you are a great interviewer and host. Hope to meet you someday. John's love with the heart. John's mom. Boom, 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 boom. That tops it. That tops the comments. Thank you, Suzanne. I love that. Thank you. You've got a a great son there, very talented, with a good heart. And again, I always say that the tone is set by the family, by the parents, the grandparents, and the family. My sister and I, we've been very lucky to also have, and are lucky to have, wonderful, caring, loving parents who made sure we were fed, clothed, happy, educated. We were kids. We got to do the things we wanted to do, and still do. They would prefer that you'd keep your feet off the coffee table. But thank you, Suzanne, and hope we meet as well. That would be wonderful to meet you and everybody. Thanks for all your comments, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. You can see all the past episodes on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And again, you're blessed with a wonderful family and a wonderful son, a Grammy-winning son. Not bad. Thank you, Suzanne. Have a blessed evening. And you know you did well when the guest's mom gives you a thumbs up, right? My mom does too, but when the guest's mom does, it's cool. Have a good night, Suzanne. Karen, Campbell Green, Nova Scotia. Great evening, Jim. As always, my friend, thank you so much. You're very welcome. Thank you, Jim. What a great show. My pleasure, as always. And Willie, kisses. Whew. That's a topper of a comment too, huh? Thank you, Jim, for a nice show. Good night, Mr. Levity. Good night, Levities. There's so much work that goes on behind the scenes with all these shows to pull all of this off, with all the production elements and the preparation and everything that leads up to all these shows. But I love it. I love it. Fortunately, I've been in the industry, so that helps. But gets crazy sometimes. Amazing show. We want more. Well, you got more coming up. We will keep those shows coming. Good night to all of you. Good night, Jim and Lovities. Lots of levity today with 2 shows. Take care, all. Really great show. Thank you, Christine. Have a blessed night. Your mom as well. I know she likes to watch the shows. Bobby Vinton, yeah, Blue Velvet. Used to watch the Bobby Vinton show with my grandparents. Maureen says, so I was thinking, Jim, your call on February 14th, let's designate that International Levity Day. And February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, I think this year falls on a Sunday, right? It falls on a Sunday. So we'll have to do something special, right? We'll have to have chocolates, wine. Should we have roses on set? Good night, everybody. Everybody says good night. They're checking in with everybody. How are you, Karen? How are you, Christine? You guys, I love it. I know that you're chatting amongst yourselves, so that's really cool. There's a lot of people who watch who don't comment as well, or they watch this on demand later, which is kind of cool. Not everybody, you don't always have to, not everybody in order to watch our shows has to comment, but I think it's really cool that you do, those of you that do. So George Burns had a great time tonight. He loved every second of it. And do you see who's behind me there? Jimmy, Silver, the Silver Lab, and Gilligan. There he is. And Lynn, the big panda, is over on the other side. You guys, you're the best. We'll be back early. We're going to wrap up now because we still have to finish eating dinner. We didn't get a chance to eat it all. We're going to finish having our din-din. And we thank you all. You guys are a blessing. Now, I showed this earlier, but I'll show it one more time because you can never get enough of this. Don't forget to relax, breathe, love one another, take care of one another, and love yourself, and share, the levity. That's really important to do. And relax and breathe. Listen to good music like we heard tonight. Watch an old movie. Call somebody that you care about. Check in with them. See how they're doing. A lot of people are not having such a wonderful time. Even some of our guests have been very open about how they've been feeling lately. Not just performers, but what's been going on in the last year has affected every single one of us. But we are in this together. We're all in this together. And one of the things that was born out of it all was this show, our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, bringing back the lost art of conversation. Missed an episode? They're available 24/7 on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. And as always, we have a little routine here that we do, and that is, don't forget to smile and share the smile. Smiles are contagious. Don't forget to share the levity. Find your Zen place. Mine, of course, is with loving family and friends as well. Like John, I love tennis, music, creative writing, cycling. I'm an avid cycler, and the ocean, living on the coast here in the Northeastern United States, born by the ocean, live near the ocean currently, and absolutely love it. Swim, surf, boogie board, windsurf, sail, float in the ocean. I have a real respect, I have a wonderful relationship with the ocean. It's a real Zen place for me. Find your Zen place. Also, all the work I've done over the years in television, radio, multimedia, stage, all of that with wonderful people at networks and stations and production companies and more. I've absolutely loved all of it and continued to in my career. So that's another Zen place. And of course, we thank John Proulx for joining us here, Grammy-winning composer, jazz pianist, and singer, for gracing us with his talents this evening on the Jim Masters Show Live. Thanks, gang. You guys are the best. Lovity to you all. Lovity, lovity, lovity. Smiles and hearts from Kathleen in New York. A big smile from Willie in Holland, who's going to fall right to sleep. She's going to sleep well tonight. I'm going to watch Burns and Allen on Antenna. Oh, don't you love Antenna TV? So do I. I watch all those shows on Antenna TV. And also there's a channel called Cozy TV, and there's another one called, I'm Mr. TV. There's, speaking of Mr. TV, let me see if I can grab this here. Look at that. I mean, I really am Mr. TV. There's a little mini TV set with a Christmas scene in it. Look at that. It actually plays music too. If you turn the knob, it plays music. So yeah, I'm television through and through. Look at that scene. Isn't that nice? Let's see, without the light reflecting. There you go, I think. So there I am. On TV with the TV in my hand and the lights trying to adjust. The lights are trying to say, Jim, what are you doing? You're throwing us off here. But Antenna TV and Tubi. I don't know if you get Tubi, Tubi. That's a new channel. It has a lot of good stuff on it. Classic material. Relax, breathe, and share the levity. And now I go to sleep. Bye, bye, bye. Good night, gang. I think we've covered it all. Nathan's here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, and England, exclusively on our YouTube channel. We love you all. Thanks for being with us. Got cozy too. Cozy times on the Jim Masters Show Live, and Cozy TV is great as well. Gary, yeah, and I love all the nostalgic stuff like you do. You love that little TV, huh? It's cool, isn't it? And it plays Christmas music when you turn the knob. We actually picked up one of these and gave one to my mother is very big with Christmas. My folks are, and the house is always decorated to the nines. My mother has like 300 Santa Clauses and everything. She got one of these too. It's a different scene. But this is actually Ellsworth Avenue is the name of the designer, the artist. And it's really cool, like a little mini television set. With the Christmas scene in there. See that? Maybe we can bring it in a little closer without how close can we get? There you go. You see the people and you see the tree and hey, what the heck? Christmas is over, but just by a matter of days. Keep that Christmas spirit going, even though the calendar doesn't say it's Christmas. Gang, we're going to wrap up. Thanks for joining us. We love all of you. You love the TV, and we love all of you. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time till next time, back tomorrow. Thanks for all the time you spent with us tonight. It's always a blessing when you're with us. We'll see you tomorrow, okay? Another comment coming in. Love those channels. Yes, another cool one too. I don't know if I get that one. FETV, Game Show Network for all the old game shows too. Yeah, I watch it all. Hulu, Netflix. I watch all the current stuff. I watch all the nostalgic stuff. Being in this industry, you got to keep abreast of everything. musically and all the rest, television shows, films, movies, history. I love history. I love art. Love it all. All right. I think we're done, right? Are we done? Class dismissed? Want more levity? We'll have some ready for you. We'll cook it up at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, right here on the Jim Masters Show. Good night, gang. We love you all. Be well. Take care. Try to keep smiling. We love you back, Willie, and all of you, loveties. Just keep the faith. If you're not in good spirits, not in good health, keep the faith. Keep joining us. We'll do everything we can to keep the levity and the lovity going for all of you as best as we can. I love doing it. Good night, gang. Be well. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.